might have made it worse. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you are wondering why it's a bit dark, it's because I decided to move the light back a little bit to try and make it less washed out. And I think now I've just made it dark, to be honest. I think I've made it worse. But hey-ho, it is what it is. I'm sure it is not going to affect your enjoyment of the show tonight. And what a show we've got tonight. Because, as always, AEW have come through with a big preview for Dynamite, which I always appreciate. It's always nice to know what we're going to be seeing. So I've got the full breakdown here. Actually, what I could do is I could even save the graphic, put it up on screen. So rather than me just reading it out, I can actually show you what AEW have got planned for us. Let's see if we can get that on screen now. Let's go full screen. Boom. Boom. There we go. So we've got Claudio and Bryan Danielson from Blackpool Combat Club taking on Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Then we've got, I think they might have done that on purpose, but that world title eliminator graphic semi-final is just tucked away behind the heads of Ethan Page and Bandido. So yeah, we've got Ethan Page Bandido, world title eliminator semi-final. Then we've got Death Triangle. They are taking on Top Flight and AR Fox. Then we've got Anthony Bowens taking on Swerve Strickland. Obviously, Bowens, one half of the Acclaimed, and Swerve Strickland, one half of Swerve in Our Glory. Then we're going to be hearing from Dr. Britt Baker and Saraya again for some reason. So we're going to be hearing from those guys. Then we're going to also be hearing from MJF. We're going to be hearing from Jon Moxley. We're going to be hearing from Samoa Joe. And we've got the Acclaimed music video for A Hand for a Hand. So that could be a lot of fun, actually. The Acclaimed with the music video, A Hand for a Hand. And then we've got Toni Storm taking on Anna J. AS. What's the AS stand for? Annoying someone. So Toni Storm taking on Anna J, annoying someone. Yeah, that's our lineup for tonight. This feels like a go-home show. I think considering we've got a lot of we're going to be hearing from, we're going to be hearing from, we're going to be hearing from, and we're going to be hearing from, makes me think that these are just the final touches before we get to Full Gear, of course. But, I mean, look, there's still plenty to get our teeth into there. And I'm sure that music video is going to be a lot of fun. So I am looking forward to that. So, yeah, a few stars on the show, a few promos tonight, and a music video. Eric said the return of Jake the Snake, maybe. Haven't heard any news about Jake the Snake. This is really dark, isn't it? I'm just looking on the screen now. This is really dark. I was looking, and, like, when I was watching back one of the streams before, part of my face was like almost see-through. It was glowing. It was that bright. I'm sure it's been that way for so long, people just don't even notice. But I don't ever watch the streams back. I mean, why would I? In all fairness, you know, they're like 4 hours long. So, and I'm fully aware of everything that's happened in them. So I don't feel like a need to really watch them back. But I was watching one because I was trying to get some comments. You lot drop in some really interesting stuff throughout the streams, of course. And I'm trying to reference them in videos as and when I think I need to. So I was going back to try and find some specific comments. And that's when I saw that I was basically Casper the Friendly Ghost. And I was almost see-through. It was that bright, so that's why I've kind of moved it back a little bit. And in all fairness, I do think it makes this look a little better. I mean, this is never going to look better, but you get my point. It's not as washed out now, but I just feel like everything else has gone quite dark. So, don't know. Well, I can't guarantee we'll keep it. I feel like I need a light here now, just a kind of a warmth. I feel like I need a warmth. That's what I need. I don't need a light. I just need a little bit of warmth, really. So... Would a phone do it? Hang on. Let me just turn. I'm just going to try and see if this is live trial and error. No, that's full on Halloween, isn't it? Now we've gone full on Halloween. So no, a phone light doesn't really do it. Put that over there. Wow. Well, that's not the worst. In all fairness, is it? That's not the worst by putting that phone light there. That is definitely more the kind of vibe I'm going for, I think. Even that might be a bit too bright, though. Yeah, it sort of needs to be a light. Yeah. Okay. I need a light, but I need it to be a little bit subdued. What I need is a light with self-confidence issues. That's what I need. This Christmas, I'm going to ask for a light with self-confidence issues so it doesn't really shine as bright as it could. And then that's what I need. And then I can put that there. Days went full on Blair Witch. I did, didn't I? I've got to say, though, when I do that, and I actually, because right now I've got the light on my phone. Once I put it there and I just cover over it a little bit, this is what I'm after. This is good. This is the promised land. This is as good as it gets. So, yeah, that's going to be something for me to look into. Right, that's enough about lights. Don't need to faff around with them anymore. Is Daisy's bright side his right side or his left side? Well, do you know what's quite confusing is I think the camera switches it. So when I've got light coming from the left side, you see it as the... So when I've got light coming from here, which is my left side, on screen, it looks like it's my right side. So it's obviously flipped around, isn't it? So it's a little bit confusing. But hey-ho. I hope USA don't focus too much on Pulisic. They need the team to succeed. Hey, I suppose what I should do is before we just get stuck into the chat, which I do, of course, want to do. It's the reason why I'm here an hour before. We are starting our World Cup watch-alongs on Sunday. So on Sunday, the first game will happen. I think there's only one game on Sunday. So we will be doing Qatar versus Ecuador. Is that a boring game? Sure. Yes. No one cares. But it's going to be good because we can watch the game. And more importantly, we can talk all about the World Cup. We can talk all about the tournament, all about the favorites, all about the different teams. So we can use that because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do a video before. So we can use that live stream to really just go crazy, talk about the World Cup, right? And then the next day, I believe England are in action against Iran. And I think the USA play Wales. And that USA-Wales game is massive. It is massive because that honestly could be to decide what team finishes second. Iran are going to be tricky as well. Can't rule out Iran, and you can't rule out England absolutely botching it. But on paper, USA versus Wales should be the game to decide who else qualifies. So, I mean, this is what's so great about the World Cup is it starts and boom, you're straight into the action. I mean, you're straight into an England game, straight into a massive game that could decide who goes through the group eventually between Wales and USA. And that's all happening on the Monday. So there is a fantasy game. This is why I'm talking about it. There is a fantasy game. You can choose your players from the various different teams, and you can then join our league. It's free. It is free. And what I want to do is I want to find the link. So my league, join. I don't want to join. Let's click there. Let's click invite. Here we go. Copy link. Yes. So yeah, you can join this. It's free to pick your players, free to join the league. We'll do a little fantasy thing. We'll obviously be referring to it throughout the whole World Cup. And it's a bit of fun. I think last time I checked, we had about 25 to 30 people that had joined. Haven't actually looked in a while, but it was around that kind of ballpark. So we're looking... I mean, look, we did a whole Premier League season, and we got to about 150 people that joined the fantasy game then. This is obviously different because it's a World Cup. It's not going to be going as long. So I don't know. And I don't know if as many people will join, but I reckon if we set the target of about 100 people, if we could get 100 people to join the league before it starts, which is a hell of an ask. But I've got to think that there's plenty of people that would like to join. So I'll hammer it. I'll put it everywhere. I'll put it in the community tab and everything. If you're on the fence with it, do it. I've already got a team. I've picked my team. Put it in there. If you don't know anything about football, don't worry about it. Do it, because there'll be loads of people that don't know about football, and there's a good chance you won't end up being last. But it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? And it genuinely makes the World Cup more entertaining, because you are then a little more interested in games that normally you wouldn't care about. So, if you've got a Holland, Netherlands player and you need like some points, you're going to be interested in that game, even if it's just checking the score to see if your player scored. Then it does at least make it a little bit more interesting. I love fantasy games. We played it for the Euros. People were loving it. We did it for the Premier League season. People were loving it. And we are now doing it for the World Cup as well. But the thing is, because the squads were announced so late, it actually hasn't been live that long. So it's only been live for about a week or so. So we haven't really had much chance to shout about this. And the World Cup starts on Sunday. So there's no time. That's the problem with this World Cup. There's no time. The football season ended, and now, boom, here we are going straight into a World Cup. It's very, very quick. So, yeah. If you want to join that, the link is at the top. Right. Soccer is going to be more fun if they used baseball bats, said Dark Angel. It would certainly be different. Hawks Jr. said, I don't know anything about football or soccer, but I've joined. Let's see how Team Hawkins does. That's the spirit. I mean, there's lots of, you can, if it depends how much you want to like go into it, but you can just Google best players World Cup 2022, top scorers World Cup 2022. There's loads of information out there. Who's going to get the most goals? Who's going to get the most assists? What team is going to be the hardest to score against? Who's the best goalkeeper? Like, you can do as much research as you want. And the other great thing, actually, and this is a tip for you, if you go onto the fantasy game, then at the top, when you're picking your players, you can sort them by price, but you can also sort them by how many people have selected the player. So you can actually have the whole list of players sorted by how popular they are, how many people have chosen them for their teams. And that really helps, because if you know nothing about football, then you can at least see who the most popular players are. And if you just kind of target those, you're going to be there or thereabouts. Like, you're not going to have a disastrous team. So it'll give you a good idea as to who to go for, who to target. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I would like to do a video on it, actually, because I think it's going to be a big part of our World Cup coverage. But I don't want to bang on about it too much. This is the AEW stream, so I'm here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Hamid said, are you still on the Ronaldo side? I was never on a Ronaldo side. I mean, if ever there was a conversation about who the best player was, I've always leaned Ronaldo, because, like, who do you prefer, Ronaldo or Messi? And my answer's always been, well, I've watched way more Ronaldo than I have Messi, because I'm a Man United fan. So I remember Ronaldo bursting onto the scene and what he did the first time he was at United. And then, of course, when he went to Real, I'd be watching some of his games in the Champions League, in particular, some of his performances. And, I mean, the guy was just incredible. So, of course, I've seen Messi play as well, but I don't know, I've just seen more of Ronaldo, and for me, like, Ronaldo is the one I would go with of the two. In regards to this recent debacle, the interview, I just think, like, he's done. I mean, like, he needs to go. He wants to go. He needs to go. That's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. I haven't actually watched the interview. I don't have any desire to watch the interview. I don't care about what he says. Like, I just feel that what he's doing is he's trying to force his way out. That's what he's trying to do. He wants out of Man United, and he wants to go in January. So he's just going to say whatever it takes to get out. Like, I don't respect the manager. I don't know. I don't like the club. Sir Alex Ferguson smells like onions. I don't know what he's saying. I don't care what he's saying, right? He wants to go. He needs to go. And I'm sure he will go. And it's sad, that all of this is being like, dragged out in the open and whatever. But to be honest, it's just petty, innit? I mean, you just look at it and go, well, go then. I mean, it ain't a problem. It's not a problem. Man United are no weaker without him. It's not a problem in the slightest. So, yeah, go. And it seems like he is going to go. They took his picture down outside of Old Trafford, I think, and there's like loads of bits and bobs happening. So they don't want him to play either, says Miss Clownmon. No, they've. I think the rumor is Ten Hag has said he will never play for Man United again. So again, it's such a shame it came to this. It would have been much better that he never came back. But, I mean, you just don't know that, do you? In retrospect, you look at it now and go, well, he should never have returned. And it has soured his legacy a little, but it'll smooth over. Time heals all wounds, and I'm sure it'll be fine eventually. But my focus as a Man United fan is I just want Manchester United to be the best team that they can be. And honestly, Ronaldo in the team, I don't think makes them better. Having Ronaldo around the training grounds, I don't think makes them better. I think it's a bad attitude and it's problems. He causes problems. He's a great player, and having him in the side, at first when he arrived, everyone idolized him. But I think the moodiness kind of gets to people, and, the problems get to people. And he's intense. Not just him, but the media around him is very intense. And I think that wears players down. So this is what I'm saying. It's not a problem to move on. I mean, I'm hearing some very exciting names that we're linked to if he does go. So onto pastures new for everybody. It's just a shame that it couldn't have gone this way, it's a shame that he couldn't have just done this in private. And that this didn't need to come out in the open. For some reason, he feels that in order... I don't know. I think he feels hurt. I think he's read a load of stuff that he doesn't agree with. I think he wanted to put the record straight. But clearly, you're not going to do this if you want to stay at the club. So I think he's trying to tick a few boxes here. Either way, he's going to be done, isn't he? So conversation over. Wrestling with Andy Allo said, I just watched a video of DC interviewing Gable Steveson talking about fighting in MMA. Do you think his WWE debut will happen? I think so, yeah. I think so. I've never heard of anything other than Gable Steveson wanting to, because he could have gone to MMA. UFC were interested in him, but he chose professional wrestling. And then obviously we found out that he's been dealing with an injury. And so they're hopeful that they can, get the ball rolling again next year. There was all these reports that came out that he wasn't progressing and all of that. I think they turned out not to be true. I think they turned out that he was injured, hence why he wasn't progressing. But they are expecting him to recommence his training next year. So, or he might even have recommenced it now. So Gable Steveson is someone I'm expecting to be involved in WWE next year, yes. But I don't know, I haven't seen this latest interview if he's saying different now. William said, as a Man City fan, I just want my team to win every game and be the best in the world. It's just the little things, isn't it, mate? It's just the little things. It's just you want your team to win absolutely every match, every trophy, and to be able to celebrate and enjoy every moment of every game. I mean, it's just the little things in sport that you look for. But yeah, I totally understand. As a Man United fan, I'd just be happy if we just put a string of wins together. That'd be great. If we could just manage that for a while. But joking aside, they're doing all right this season. What is the first match you're streaming? I'm doing Qatar versus Ecuador. That is on Sunday. I don't know the time. I was up till 1 in the afternoon. So I did the stream, last night's stream, NXT started at midnight. I went straight the way through till 1 in the afternoon, making the thumbnails. The thumbnails are made. Took me all that time. As soon as NXT finished, I quickly recorded that review, put it up, and then I went straight onto thumbnails. Thumbnails are done. My plan now is do this stream. As soon as this stream is done, get those streams set up. So I've got the thumbnails done. Now I set the streams up. I'm not going to make them all visible because it's going to be over. At the moment, it's going to be a lot of streams. I'm not going to set up the knockout rounds because obviously I don't know what teams are in them. So all the group games that we're doing will be on the channel. But I'm not going to make them all visible because then you'll get bombarded with loads of forthcoming streams. I don't want to do that. I'll probably just make the first Sunday, Monday visible, but all of them will be set up in the background. So that's my plan tonight. Does Canada have half a chance to make it far? Canada do have a chance to make it far. They have a decent team, actually. Some decent players like Alphonso Davis. And is it Jonathan David up front? You've got a couple of players that can do damage if they can get on the ball, if their influence can be felt. The only problem you've got is that you are in a bit of a tricky group. So Belgium are expected to get through your group as the leaders. I mean, Belgium have got like De Bruyne. They've got Eden Hazard, who hasn't been brilliant in all fairness. Trossard's been doing really well for Brighton. Lukaku, I don't know what the situation is there. I think he's got an injury. So I think he's in the squad though. But he obviously is someone that normally does well for Belgium at the international level. Didn't do very well for Chelsea last year, but a great goal scorer. But either way, they have been ranked number 1 in the world in the FIFA rankings for a long time. Don't think they're number 1 now, but they were number 1 in the world not that long ago for a good few years. They managed to finish 3rd at the last World Cup, Belgium. So Belgium are going to be a very difficult team to get past. Then you've got Croatia. Croatia finished 2nd at the last World Cup. So last year, at the last World Cup in 2018, France won it, Croatia were 2nd, and Belgium were 3rd. England were 4th. And unfortunately, in Canada's group, you just happen to have the 2nd and 3rd place teams from the last World Cup. So Croatia have declined, though. We're not seeing great talent coming through that Croatia team. A lot of their players have aged now. So they're, largely the same team as 2018, but just 4 years older. Morocco, not bad. I think they're the 2nd best team from their confederation, but they are beatable. I think it's between Canada and Croatia to go through. I think Belgium top the group. I think it's between Canada and Croatia. I think that it would be an upset for Canada to beat Croatia, but it's an upset that could happen. It's an upset that it's not like, no chance. You know what I mean? That I think there's a chance that Canada could get through that group. In fact, you always look at World Cup groups to try and see where the upset's going to be. Like the best 2 teams from each group don't always go through, right? If you was to sit there and predict that the top 2 teams in each group go through, chances are you're going to be wrong because there's always upsets. There's always teams that don't bring their best form. There's always surprises. So if you was to sit and predict the top 2 teams for every group, you'd probably be wrong. So this would be one of those groups where you could easily say, yeah, okay, Belgium, Croatia. Right? Belgium, Croatia go through that group. But I think there is an argument for Canada. I really do. I think there is an argument for Canada. You've got a couple of decent players that are coming through, and you did well in qualifying as well. So, yeah. It's going to be hard, but you could get through. Jim said the World Cup is going to come down to Canada against North Korea. Dark Angel said, I don't care who wins as long as it's not Team USA. Retribution said anyone can beat anyone at the World Cup. Belgium are 16-1 favourites. I think that's massive. I've got £20 on them, says Lee. Wow, that's good, actually, in all fairness. I mean, you're picking up a pretty penny there, aren't you? So if that comes through, you're picking up, $260 plus you get your money back. Is that right? 260 plus you get your money back. It's around that kind of ballpark, isn't it? So, yeah, that's a good little bet, actually. Belgium they have got a chance of winning it. I feel like they've got a similar problem to England in that they've got a good attack, but their defense is made of glass and is very easy to kind of get at. Same as England's defense. Our defense is made of glass. So, if you really put us under pressure, then there's every chance you'll score, in all fairness. If you put England under pressure, if you do manage to counter us quickly, get the ball, drive forward, I don't know, I have much confidence in our defense. Our attack is pretty good, in all fairness. Obviously, Harry Kane could be the top goal scorer at the World Cup. So, yeah, I know this is a lot of World Cup talk, but I'm just answering the questions that are being asked. As long as Team USA or France is in the final, I would be happy, said Eric. Belgium are kind of living off the name they built up over the decade, said Dortnight. They are the team they were. They will need De Bruyne to be fit. That's very true. Melissa Rose said, I don't think England have got much hope. If they win their group, they will probably play France in the quarters. If they finish second, then it'll be Netherlands. And then last 16 are Germany, Spain, and then France. Yeah, so I think if England finish first, then they will probably play Senegal, which, I mean, it would be arrogant to say I think we should win that. But I do think we should win that because I don't think Mane is going to be 100% in this tournament. Mane is injured. He is not going to make it for the first group games. He's going to come back. He might have a little spell where he's going to be problematic, but I don't think you're going to get 90 minutes of Mane, basically. So, and a lot of the players we've got have played against Mane, played against Liverpool, are going to know the threat that he carries if he does play. I'm feeling, I mean, look, you've got to have, if you're one of the favourites, which England are, you've got to have confidence when you're going up against teams like Senegal. So I would be confident. I wouldn't be too confident because anything can happen, as Retribution said. But I think Mane being injured is a big deal, right? Big deal. So I've got a bit of confidence there. And then you're right, we go through, we probably play France. Now, the only thing I'll say about France is their team spirit, their togetherness is atrocious. Right? They did not win the Euros. They were stumbling all over the place. In the Euros, they drew 1-1 with Hungary, right? Which isn't that bad of a result. England got smashed by Hungary. But we are talking about France, who are world champions and are meant to be the best team in the world. They are not swashbuckling, blowing teams away at the moment. They have got, on paper, incredible talent. But if that talent cannot click and cannot work together, then I don't know. I think if you can get at France, you need to make sure you frustrate France. You need to make it a frustrating evening. You need them shouting at each other. You need it so like Mbappe is throwing a strop. If Mbappe is throwing a strop at the one end of the pitch and you're making it frustrating for France, I got to tell you, I would go into that game thinking, yes, England are likely to lose this, but it is not a foregone conclusion. I would not go into that game thinking it's over. This is the end of the World Cup. I would actually be thinking, go on, stick it to them. I'd be right behind England, sticking it to France because I think you can get at France. I think their mentality is not very good. If I was an England player, I would not be scared of that game. I would not be scared of that game at all. Wonderful players on paper. Wonderful players. But if England were to put a performance in, frustrate France, I could see England getting past France, which I know is going to be controversial and people will be like, sure. And that's fine, right? You can throw that back in my face. But we've seen France at the Euros. They got knocked out by Switzerland. They got knocked out by Switzerland at the Euros. Are you telling me that England have no chance against France? Because I think England would. I think they would have a chance against France. And I think if you frustrate them, there would be a way forward. Now, as soon as we play Argentina or Brazil, we're going home, right? That's it. It's done. Thanks a lot for coming. Bye. That's it. Bye for now. That's what England will say. Bye for now. So I'm certainly not saying England are going to win the World Cup, because as soon as we play Brazil, I can't find an argument of us winning that game. I can't find an argument. There isn't an argument. We lose, we go home, right? You pack your bags. If I was an England player then, I'd be like, well, I had a lovely time. And that's it. Because I think that, Brazil, Argentina are going to be the ones. But at what point do you play Brazil? I don't know. Would we have to play them in the semis? Because I could see England get past Senegal. I think if let's say they get past France, right? I know it's a big if, but I think they could do it. I don't know who we play in the semi-finals then. If it's Brazil, we're out. If it's Argentina, we're out. But if it's another team, a different team, I could see us getting to the final if it's not Brazil or Argentina. Harry Maguire and John Stones are red card prone, said Dylan. The only reason that we've got the Euros final is because we played most of the games at home, says Daniel. Don't know. Don't know, to be honest. I think you would probably look at it and say it was maybe more a favourable draw. I mean, we still had to get past Germany, right? And even beating Germany at Wembley is a hell of an achievement. I mean, we played Germany at Wembley many times where they've beaten us. I think that the home advantage definitely helped. No one would argue with that. Definitely helped. But I think these are Premier League players, right? I think we are doing them a bit disservice if we think that played a massive factor. Because these are Premier League players that are used to, playing in front of their fans and then playing in front of away fans all the time. And I think that they, you know what the Premier League's like. It's one of the biggest leagues in the world. Very passionate fans as well. I think that they showed in Russia when we got past the likes of Colombia and Sweden, that we can beat that level of opponent abroad. That, we was in Russia. That wasn't our country. So we've shown that we can beat countries on foreign soil. But the problem is that I don't know that we've really shown we can beat the top countries on foreign soil. We did get a fantastic result against Spain a few years ago. I think we were leading like 3-0 at halftime in Spain. We ended up losing we won 3-2 in the end. We ended up losing 2 goals in the second half. But we did get a fantastic result. That was a few years ago now, unfortunately. But we also got some decent results in the first Nations League. That was also going back a couple of years ago now. But England have not been in great form in 2022. I think, though, that I think that the group, we should have enough to get through that. I've just explained why I think we get past Senegal, because their best player is Mane. I don't think he's going to be 100%. I think you can see for yourself France's mentality. It was a big talking point during the Euros, that their lack of togetherness. That is the problem with their team, their lack of togetherness and spirit, and they don't necessarily work for each other. They've got all these big names, but someone like Mbappe just expects them to play the ball to him and expects to be finishing it off and looking amazing and all of that. Like there's a definite arrogance around Mbappe, which he's earned, in all fairness. But I just think that you can capitalize on that. I think if you've got a team that's really together, look at Denmark. Denmark was so good at the Euros. I mean, they've got good players. They don't have great players. They've got good players. But what they've got is a great squad, that great teamwork. Same with Switzerland. Same with Croatia. We have same with Greece. Do you remember Greece when they won the Euros in 2004? Like it's right that you try and build that togetherness, that team spirit, that die for your teammate mentality. Like you give everything you've got, and you constantly working for each other. That is so important at a World Cup. And I think England do possess that. I think Gareth Southgate's done a really good job of working on that as well, and bringing that out of the team. So I'm quietly confident that England will not have a disaster of a World Cup. I would expect them to go out to France, but I think that is not a foregone conclusion. You could honestly go to bed, wake up, and find out England had got through that game. But as I said, I think once you actually get to a Brazil or an Argentina, I think then it's party over. That's my reading of it. So, but I think Brazil would be my pick to win it. Michael said, "Are you covering the World Cup?" Yes. Yeah. We're going to be doing 40 of the 60 games. The 20 games that we're not doing are ones that just don't kind of fit in with the schedule. Plus, also, they do tend to be games that you look at and go, not really into that anyway, you know. Kind of like, you know, your South Korea versus Qatar or whatever. They're games that aren't really bothered about. But I think we're doing all the US games. I think we're doing all the England games, of course. We are, regardless, we're doing all the knockout games. As soon as we're done with the group stage, we're due in every knockout game. So it's the 20 games we're not doing are all group games. So as soon as we get through the group, we do everything. So, yeah. It's going to be good. Do you play the FIFA game? I don't know. I don't get a chance, to be honest. I have played it in the past, though. The really boring game, said Jilly. Well, I mean, I suppose I can't say they're going to be boring, but they're boring in the sense of I don't think people are going to really care about the results of them. The results may have an implication on the group, but probably not. You're probably looking at the third place team playing the fourth place team. Do you know what I mean? That kind of game. Unfortunately, you do get those games at the World Cup, but the only thing I would say is you do have to remember how great it is for these countries. I seriously, I watched England lose at the Euros last year in the final, and the pain that I felt after we lost was nowhere near as bad as the pain I felt when we did not qualify. Not actually going to a World Cup at all. Like Italy. There's no Italy at this World Cup, right? The Italian fans cannot look forward to this World Cup. They can as football fans, but they're not as Italian football fans. They're not going to be in the guides. They're not going to be in the predictions. They're not going to be in any of the conversations. They are missing out on everything. At least right now, if you're in America, you can dare to dream. What if you win the World Cup? What if you win it? What if your team clicks like Greece did in 2004 and they go on this crazy run and say in the knockout rounds, you draw games and then beat teams on penalties? Say you go up against France, you keep it tight, you keep it 0-0, you get to penalties, you knock them out on penalties. Next team, do exact same, and you work your way towards the final. Like, is that going to happen? Probably not, but you can dare to dream. And this is why not being there at all is absolutely the worst thing. It's the worst thing. So what I would say is enjoy it now. Make this now is the World Cup. Now, and the groups of the World Cup. Once you actually get to the point where you look at and like say you're going to go out in the group stage and the World Cup's over, you might still have one more game. But really, it feels like the World Cup's over, even if you've got one more game to go. If you're already knocked out in the group stages because you've lost your first two, that's pretty gutting. That's pretty gutting. But so that's why now is the World Cup. This is the World Cup. The fact that you can talk about it and talk about your team and do the dream teams and get excited and look to see when your team's playing and think about like, oh, okay, who would I have in the starting lineup? You know, who do I want for Team USA? Who do I want for Team Canada? Who do I want for Team England? Like, who would my starting 11 be? What should our tactics be? You can watch videos on it and all this stuff. I love all of this. I love it all. Even looking at your kits. I was looking at a list of kits and I was looking at all the different kits. Have you seen the Ghana kit? I think the Ghana kit looks amazing. It's just white with like yellow, like the Ghana colors on, but it just looks so retro and pops and cool and clean, and it just looks really great. I love the Ghana kit. I think the Ghana kit might be my favorite. But just even looking at your kit that you've got for the World Cup is amazing. So Yeah, there's lots to get your teeth into. But that's why I'm saying for these smaller countries and the games I'm not bothered about, you just have to remember that for those countries, the people that live there, it's huge in it. I can tell you, Wales have actually not been to a World Cup for, I think, some like 60-something years. So for Wales, they've already won. The fact that Wales are just part of this conversation, it's like 60-odd years since they've been at a World Cup. Can you imagine what the Welsh are going to be like in that first game when their national anthem's being played at the World Cup and their team is lined up, ready to play? Like, I would imagine all of Wales are going to be in tears just for the national anthem part. This is the power of the World Cup. This is, what the World Cup can do. So it's very exciting. Dave's got the worst tasting kits. Oh, man, it's so good. I wonder if I'll find a picture of it. Ghana. World Cup. World Cup kits. Their away shirt is horrible, though. Their away shirt is horrible. The Puma have done this weird thing of like, there's like a square. It makes them look like a flipping Teletubby. This is the... I'm going to show you the Ghana kit. I think that's class. It's white. It's clean. But it's got like the colors, the Ghana colors on the sleeve edging. The collar maybe could be a little bit nicer. I think the star is to do with, there's a star on their logo. I don't know if that maybe is because they've won something. Maybe did they win like, I don't know, the African Cup of Nations once, and maybe that symbolizes that, or maybe it's a star on their flag. I'm not sure. But either way, I just think that looks kind of clean. But their away shirt is garbage. I'll show you their Ghana away shirt. It looks like a flipping t-shirt. I have no idea who thought this was a good idea. What's that about? I mean, what is that about? In no way does that look like an actual proper football shirt. What is that about? I don't understand. I have no idea what's going on here. I have no idea. I can only imagine that someone had a stroke, or maybe some child was drawing and it accidentally got mixed in. I have no idea. And how does that look like a football shirt? I don't understand. What is that box in the middle? I think it's got letters of G, H, and A like in the shirt. So I think it's meant to like represent Ghana, like say Ghana, but I just think that's atrocious. I think that's atrocious. I don't know what it is. So I hope we never have to see that. But I think their home shirt is quite clean. There's a few nice shirts, actually. That's one of the other fun things you can do is just have a look at... you can just have a look at all the kits and like rank them in like your favorite order as to what you like and everything. It's like a creator kit, but you messed up and you was too lazy to change it. It was weird, wasn't it? But you know what? That's not the only team that have got that. Puma seem to have done that for a lot of their shirts. So if Puma make your shirt, your away shirt seems to have that box in the middle. No badge at the top. It all seems to be in this box instead. I don't know. So someone thinks it's a good idea. I'm personally not a fan. I thought we played well in the Euros final, but our players were just too tired, said Joseph. Yeah, we did well, man. The Puma shirts look incomplete without the number in the middle. With the number in the middle, they do look gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm not sold, mate. I'm not sold. For me, I'm a traditionalist. I need the badge in the corner. Like, I need the badge in the corner or just below the center. Like, having it all kind of in a box here makes them look like a flipping marathon runner. Like, it looks like they're about to go off and do the London Marathon. Not about to play a game of football. So it doesn't do it for me. Thought the Nike swish on baseball jerseys were bad enough. World Cup in wrestling. SmackDown said bonkers, yes. Diego said, thoughts on Southgate? Well, I mean, look, we've just gone for... welcome to this AEW stream, by the way, guys. Thoughts on Southgate? I like Southgate. I do think there's better managers out there, but I think there's some stuff that he does really well. He's got his strengths. He's got his weaknesses. I think one of his strengths is building that team spirit, which I think is so important. We've said, you can look at teams like Denmark. You can look at teams like Croatia. That togetherness, that Team England. It's so easy to just dismiss it as like, yeah, whatever. But France have shown what it's like if you don't have it. You can have the best players in the world. Look at PSG. You can have some of the best players, some of the best names. If you're not all singing from the same hymn sheet, you're not going to get very far. And I think that what Gareth Southgate has done is he's really acknowledged that. And this England squad, when they get together, they just really enjoy being in each other's company. We actually had a golden generation. Beckham, Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard, Ferdinand, Gary Neville. We had this incredible team. But they've come out and said that when they used to meet up, all the Man United players would sit together, all the Liverpool players would sit together. There were all these little cliques. There wasn't really England. There was all these little groups. And they think that if they could go back, they would definitely look to change that. And I think Gareth Southgate has learned from that. And that is something that he's really prioritized. So I think he does a brilliant job of that. I also think that he is very good at doing what he thinks is the right thing to do for England and not worrying about the noise. There were so many people that were clamoring for certain players, which he didn't bring in. And I've got to tell you, he's been proven right. I mean, so many people laid into him for not picking Trent. And I would say now the people have come to realize Trent's just not that great of a defender. And if the conversation around Trent is that he's just not very good at defensive work, but he's very good at going forwards. Southgate knew this all along. Southgate knew that Trent was not that great defensively, but was great going forward. He even tried to play him in midfields in a bit of an experiment just to see, can I get the best out of Trent and not, leave myself vulnerable with his defensive work. And it didn't work. But, people were calling for Trent to play because he was so good at whipping the ball in and people thought he was the best right back in the world. But Southgate was right on that. He was right. He made the right call to not be playing Trent and to be going with Kyle Walker. So he got that one right. It was the same with Grealish as well. People were clamoring for Grealish. When Grealish finally got his opportunity, he's never looked great in an England shirt. So I feel like Southgate knows more than the average football fan thinks they know. Because, I mean, this is what he does. Like, he watches football and talks football all the time. Whereas people go to work and have other responsibilities, but still think they know better than the England managers for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, the mentality that certain England fans have got that he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's doing and all this kind of stuff. Southgate has proven himself correct time after time after time. Look, I mean, I was watching teams being picked by Gary Neville. I was watching teams being picked by certain pundits. And all of them said, in tournaments, you have got to be defensively solid. You've got to make sure your defense is set up. I think Gary Neville picked a back five. And I think even Carragher was picking quite a defensively minded team. And he was making sure that the midfielders had the defense covered. This is all the stuff that Southgate gets battered for. He gets battered for being so defensive. But yet the pundits on Sky Sports have all picked teams that are very defensively minded because in their words, defense is so important. You cannot win the World Cup if you don't have a great defense because you're going to get found out. So you've got to make sure your defense is tight. So I think that he plays football which frustrates England fans. I think England fans want to see England just go and attack and, be let off the leash. But I think Southgate knows that if he was to do that, England would get humbled. They'd get battered. Our defense is not very good. So unless you stack it, I think you're going to be in trouble. And he knows this. And so I think he's very good at doing what he believes is the right thing to do, which, as you know, I've just given a few examples on, has been proven to be correct in certain occasions. His weaknesses are in-game management. So when it comes to like the game starting, his weaknesses are when the game has actually begun. Can he make the changes required to, like, you know, get the win? Can he make the changes required to beat the other side? And that, to me, is his biggest weakness. That's where Southgate falls down. I have no problem with anything else Southgate does, apart from when the whistle blows and the game begins. Like, if plan A doesn't work, what's plan B? What's plan C? Can you look at what the other team are doing and can you find a solution to it? And to be honest, he's been found wanting in that area quite a few times. So the concern is that. And I don't know if he's going to be able to fix that this time. I don't know if he's learnt from previous mistakes and this time will be different. I don't know. I think it's going to be a really interesting World Cup. And in all fairness, I think a lot of England fans probably don't expect England to win. I don't think many England fans are thinking we're going to be winning the World Cup if they're being honest with themselves. They're hoping, of course, but I think they're expecting probably us to go out to France. But I think there's an argument we could get past France, but I think we go out after that if it is going to be Brazil. But imagine if we did get past France, the country would lose its mind. I mean, that would be monumental. But you'd still have people going, yeah, but France weren't very good on the night. If France played their best, England wouldn't have gone through. Like, this is the problem. There's no pleasing some people. There's just no pleasing people. So why try? Do you know what I mean? Why try? We've got to a World Cup semi-final, a Euros final. We qualified for the Final Four of the Nations League, and still people are moaning. Still people are not happy. I mean, ask Italy. If like they would fancy being in England's shoes and being at just at the World Cup. Even qualifying for the World Cup is an achievement. Granted, you know, you could say it's the least England should expect. But I remember World Cup 1994 when we weren't there, right? I remember, was it Euro 2008 when we weren't there and we didn't qualify? This is a guy that's managed to take England to these tournaments, get England to qualify, and as I say, you know, actually do well in them when we get there as well. Just like Retribution said earlier, any team can beat any team. So does that not make it more impressive that England have done as well as what they've done? If any team can beat any team. So yeah, I'm not like Southgate's biggest supporter by any means, but I do think that he is good in certain areas. I think he's got weaknesses in others. He probably should go after the World Cup. I think he might have done everything he can do after this World Cup. It'd be very interesting to know if he thinks he can do better. If he was to come out and go, I really think I can win the next Euros, I'd be very interested in that. If he came out and said that. But I think, to be honest, after this World Cup, I think he probably should go. And then we need a proper in-game manager. And there's some big names out there. You've got Pochettino, you've got Thomas Tuchel. You know, you've got some big managers that are not in jobs right now that I think will end up getting jobs after the World Cup. Because there will be managers that lose their job after the World Cup. And I do wonder if Southgate will be one of them. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stick around. But I think he does some good stuff. I think he does some things wrong. All I can tell you is that my favorite time of watching England has undoubtedly been, Euro 96 and this Southgate era. That's been my favorite time watching England in my whole life. Euro 96 and this Gareth Southgate era. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for him, to be honest, because he has given me some of my absolute favorite England memories. Well, I didn't think we would do it, but we have done it. And we have spoke about England. We have spoke about the World Cup for the entire hour that we've got this preview. Kind of interesting because that certainly suggests to me that a lot of you are ready, hungry for the World Cup. So I feel a little bit better about the fact we're doing 40 watch-alongs now. So, yeah, if you've even got a passing interest in the World Cup, make sure you're joining us for those, as I'm really looking forward to them. My plan is to get the streams set up tonight, and then it is literally hardcore research. I want to find out loads about the teams. I want to know how they play. I want to know their strengths. I want to know their weaknesses. I've got an all right overview of the groups, because I've been kind of listening to a lot of podcasts and watching a lot of YouTube videos and just things I know anyway. I mean, I know England inside and out. But yeah, I've been trying to pick up what I can about the other teams, and I'll continue to do that as we build towards the World Cup. So very excited. It's the biggest tournament in the world. There'll be, I think they said around 2 to 3 billion people will be watching the World Cup. So that's pretty impressive. But I wonder who the people aren't. Who's not watching the World Cup? I mean, China, I'd have to think. China are probably not, because they're not there. And that's, a billion or so. But there's 8 billion in the world now, isn't there? You see, I would have thought that there would have been more than 3 billion, to be honest, that ended up watching it. Because you've got to think that the USA are probably going to be watching now. South Africa are well represented. Obviously, Canada are there. Europe's well represented. Africa, maybe there's a good chunk of it. India, of course. There's no India. So that's a lot of people. So India probably aren't watching. China probably aren't watching. Maybe the countries that didn't qualify aren't that bothered. Maybe they're not watching, but I don't know. I'll be surprised. Do you know what? It sounds a bit arrogant, but I'll be surprised if it's only 3 billion that tune in. I really would. There's 8 billion people in the world now. I expect more than 3 billion to tune in, but that was the projection I saw anyway. Blaze, hello, said, do you think the Elite will show up tonight? Poll, maybe. I can put a poll up. I think they were really teasing it for Full Gear. I think they'll probably save it for Full Gear, to be honest. But we can put it in. Will the Elite show up? The Elite. The Elite. Boom. Are you doing 12-hour streams? I don't think they're 12 hours. To be honest, I think I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I was going to do each game individually, just because I was thinking if you're into, I don't know, watching England, you might not be into watching the Netherlands. And the Netherlands could be straight after. So they're not 12-hour streams. It's going to be like 9 hours, but there will be like a few minutes in between each stream whilst I shut one down and start the next one. So yeah, most days there's 3 games. I think that we're doing 2 or 3 games most days. They will turn up tonight and then challenge for Full Gear, says Cal. Blaze, shout out to you. Patience pays off, says Dortnights. Patience pays off. Enjoyed the show, says Paul. Paul, shout out to you, bud. We're 40 seconds away. 40 seconds away. Get excited, all of you Anna J fans, because Anna J is on the show tonight. They will return tonight after the Trios Championship match, setting up the match and the burial of Death Triangle at Full Gear, says Travis. The new season for Supercard has released. There's 3 new tiers called Pixel, Extinction, and Octane. My first card was a Pixel Bruno Sammartino. The card is a retro arcade machine with 8-bit graphics. They do a great job with making the card sound. Like, that sounds so good. Like, I must admit, I'm sat here going, oh, I want that. But, so they do a very good job of making the cards interesting, engaging, desirable. So I'm not going to get into it. I hope the Elite shows up, and I hope we get them against the Trios champions at Full Gear, says Blazed. So, World Trio Championship match tonight. Look, maybe you're right. Maybe because we've got the Trios Championship tonight, maybe they do show up and issue that challenge. We are going over to Jericho, I believe. Crowd are going crazy. I always get this confused with Jade Cargill's logo. Anna Jay replaced the bunny, didn't she? I have no idea. I don't know who Tony was meant to be facing. All I know is that it is Tony against Anna Jay tonight. Here's Jericho then. Jericho and Sammy. Jericho and Sammy making their way down. Going to be taking on Claudio and Bryan Danielson. Thoughts on Poland and Mexico? So Mexico are... They've got a good striker. Lozano, I believe his name is. He is definitely someone to keep an eye on, and he could get some goals for them. They've got a few players, but I don't think the team is all that great. So Mexico are a team that I think are going to struggle to get out the group. They're a little bit like Croatia in the sense of if they get through the group, it'll be second, but there is a chance they could also finish third and go home. So Mexico, I don't see being a dark horse, but they have got a very good striker in that Lozano. I think he plays on the right wing, so keep an eye out for him. In regards to Poland, I actually quite like Poland. I mean, obviously they've got, you want to talk about strikers, they've got Lewandowski, who is regarded as the best, I would say the best number 9, but that'll probably go to Haaland now. But Lewandowski, as is known, absolutely incredible player. Over 40 goals, I think he scored in the Bundesliga season the other year. He now plays for Barcelona, still banging them in. He is one of the best strikers in the world. He doesn't have the best team behind him, and that's always been a struggle. But I think they've got a few players coming through Poland, actually. So Poland's group, I'd have to sit down and work out. I haven't actually worked out the teams I think will go through. I've just been very focused on England and USA. There we go. Yeah. So Argentina will go through, I think, without a shadow of a doubt as group winners. So Argentina go through, and then it comes down to Mexico and Poland as to who goes through second. So it'll be one of those that goes through. If I was to pick, I'd say Poland. If I was to go with a team, I would say Poland. I feel like Poland have got a few players that have come through, some younger talent, and obviously Lewandowski up top. Mexico do have that, Lozano, but I don't think they've got as much in the team. So I'll say Poland to get past Mexico, but Argentina dominate that group. That is Group C. Right, we are underway with our first match. Everyone's come down to the ring. We've got Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and he goes to the outside. He's brawling with Jericho. Jericho with big chops. These two brawling on the outside. We've got Danielson and Sammy. Into the barricade goes Jericho. For fans of the English Premier League, Poland also have Cash. They also have Milk, who is class, and you mean Matty Cash, and Napoli's Zielinski, says Stortnight. Are you doing Poland against Mexico? Say yes, but I've actually got them all written down. Let me have a look. So we're doing Qatar against Ecuador. England, Iran, Senegal, Netherlands, USA, Wales, Mexico, Poland, France, Australia, Germany, Japan, Spain, Costa Rica, Belgium against Canada, Portugal against Ghana, Brazil against Serbia, Netherlands against Ecuador, England versus USA, France versus Denmark, Argentina versus Mexico, Croatia versus Canada, Spain versus Germany, Brazil versus Switzerland, Portugal versus Uruguay, Netherlands versus Qatar, Wales versus England, Tunisia versus France, Poland versus Argentina, Croatia versus Belgium, Germany versus Costa Rica, South Korea versus Portugal, Cameroon versus Brazil. Those are all of the group games we're doing. And then we do all the knockout games as well. As we said, that works out to be 40 odds of the 60 odd games. So to answer your question, yes, we are doing Mexico, Poland. That is Tuesday, next Tuesday. And I've got the stream starting at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Don't know when the game starts. I don't know if the game starts at 5. I do tend to try and start a bit before if I can. But I've got the stream starting at 4 next Tuesday. Mexico versus Poland. England versus USA is Friday. Not this Friday. Next Friday. That is the second game. So I think that starts about 7. Oh, yes, we are. Right, in the ring, we've got Claudio. He has got Sammy in the air right now. So Sammy up in the air, delayed vertical suplex. Claudio goes down to one knee, gets back up. Look at that, goes down on the other knee, gets up and hits the suplex. In comes Jericho, then Claudio suplexes him. That was very impressive. Claudio against the ropes, splashes down on both Jericho and Sammy. Tag. In comes Danielson. Danielson coming over, looking to throw in. Big strike to Sammy. Over into the corner goes Sammy. Sammy face first. Big chop comes in. Cole is going through a tough time cleaning bathrooms in the locker room, says J-Boy. Yami said, USA, USA, USA. I need to look into the USA a bit more. I'm ashamed to admit I don't know loads about them. I know they didn't qualify for the last World Cup. I know they've qualified for this one. I know that your manager's been in place since 2018. Obviously, I know about Pulisic. I know that you've got like Sargent as well. I mean, you've got some decent players, but I don't know quite how you set up, how you play. I will have that information. But yeah, I need to find out a little bit more about USA and Canada. Match times for the group stages are 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Okay, so we are doing I don't think we're doing any 10 a.m. games. I think those are the ones that suffer. And sadly, there is an Argentina game we can't do, which is a shame. I would like to do all the Argentina ones, but it doesn't work. Because the problem is we're doing the wrestling streams. And I don't want to sacrifice like the reviews or videos. I want to make sure everything is as it normally is. It's just the World Cup streams are additional. So obviously, if we are doing that, I don't normally finish till say 6, 7. If I've then got a game at 10, that's a little bit of a problem. I mean, I would do it if it was just that one game, but obviously then we've got other games that are after. And then of course there's the wrestling, like you do have to look at it and go, well, do you know what? I might just have to miss that one. So unfortunately there are some that we just could not do. But I'm really pleased that we've managed to get as many in as we have, actually. Before I looked at it, I was a little bit worried that we would only end up doing, say, the England. People were asking me, and I was like, oh, well, we'll do the England games, and we'll try and do the US games, and we'll do the knockout games. And then when I looked at it, I was like, do you know what? We can do way more than that. Little bit of showboat in here by Sammy and Jericho. There's a fat rabbit sign in the crowd. Don't know what that's in reference to. Smitster, shout out to you, my friend. Said, can the Socceroos get results against Denmark or Tunisia? I'm casual. I only tune in during World Cups. Smitster, shout out to you, buds. I think the Socceroos are going to have a tough time. I think that they will struggle to get out the group. I don't think it's impossible, but I could see them getting something against Tunisia. Denmark, though. I mean, Denmark, they were so good at the Euros. I mean, a lot of people think they should have got to the final. They actually crashed out in the semi-final of the Euros, and they went out to England in England, like the tournament, at the end of the tournament was in England. And they actually went out, like in the semi-finals to England at Wembley. It went to extra time as well. And the penalty that we got given was quite soft and was quite controversial. And there's a lot of people that think it shouldn't have been given, and that Denmark would likely have found their way through to the final. And then it would have been an Italy-Denmark final. So I think to say that you stand a chance against Denmark would be not lying, but it's going to be a challenge. It's as simple as that. I think Australia know that that going to the World Cup and getting out the group would be a huge achievement for Australia. If Australia can get through the group, they would be over the moon. That would be a big dub for Australia if they can get through the group. So you never know. You honestly never know. Who have you got first? I mean, sometimes you can catch the big teams off guard in early games. Australia, World Cup. Let's look. Yeah, you see. So first of all, you've got France. I would say playing France in the first game is probably the best time to play them, because they've not settled into a groove. So I actually think your first game is going to be really important against France. I think that you need to get something from that game. I think you're going to need to get a draw. You're going to need to get something out of France. And on it, you could do it as well. You could do it. That is next Tuesday. If France aren't... We've seen France struggling in recent matches. You could get a draw out of that. It'll be a shock, but that's the kind of result that the World Cup throws up. So that game on Tuesday, massive. Keep your fingers crossed you get something out of it. You then need to beat Tunisia, because you could get a result against Tunisia. And so you're going to need 3 points there. I think by the time you get to that stage, then you'll know what you need to do if you stand a chance. Because you might have lost twice, or you might have got a draw and a win. I don't think you'll beat France, so I don't think you'll have 2 wins, but you could draw. You really could draw. And then Denmark, the last game. Everything could hinge on the last game. The nerves, the pressure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the way that that's played out for you is not bad. The fixtures have helped you there. I think playing France first is going to be in your advantage. I think it'll be in your advantage. Teams are never that great straight out the blocks. You don't really see the big nations doing well in the first game, because they're still getting used to the temperature. They're getting used to each other. Like, they don't, it's not like a club that play together week in, week out. So that's why the first game is, England are normally atrocious in the first game. England are normally horrific. So if you get a chance to play England in the first game, then brilliant. Just so it turns out it's Iran that have got England in the first game. But I think the same's true of a lot of countries. I mean, if you think back to France 98, I think, wasn't it Senegal that beat France in their first game, in the opener of France 98? I think France lost 1-0 in a shock result. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you can get at teams in that first game. So you need to go after France hard, man. Because you could get something out of that game. Probably won't, but you could. So, yeah, I'm going to say take it a game at a time. And by the time you play Denmark, you'll have a good idea as to whether you can get out the group or not. If you do get out the group, if you get out of that group, hell of an achievement. You should be over the moon with that. Danielson is down and Jericho's down. Tag. In comes Claudio. Clothesline. Jericho down. He goes after Sammy. He hurls Sammy in the ring. Uppercut. He's got Sammy. Sammy gets thrown into Jericho. Claudio charging over. European uppercut. Not a great camera angle. Wrong corner. They went to the wrong corner. Claudio went over to do this European uppercut and they cut to the camera that was in the other corner where they weren't. They weren't over there. So you just missed that. So production botch from AEW. Against the ropes goes Claudio. Clothesline. Down goes Jericho. I don't mind soccer. I don't usually watch wrestling commentary channels for it, says Ron. No, I'm quite happy to talk about what people want to talk about. If the chat want to talk about that because they're not really feeling this match, then I'm quite happy to talk about that. If people want to talk about AEW, we can talk about AEW. If people want to talk about wrestling, we can talk about wrestling. We'll go wherever the conversation goes. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Poke of the eye there of Claudio. Claudio goes down. Forearm strikes here by Claudio to the side of Jericho's head. Jericho going back against the ropes. Down goes Jericho. In comes Sammy. Super kick by Sammy. Jericho going up top. Roll through. Turning Claudio over. Against the ropes goes Sammy. He goes over the top. Lands on Bryan Danielson. So in the middle of the ring at the moment. Walls applied by Jericho. And Claudio trying to get over to the ropes. And Sammy actually grabs the rope, pulls it back so that Claudio can't grab a hold of it. Danielson grabs Sammy, though. Sammy goes into the ring post. Danielson climbing up. Looking for a missile drop kick. Breaks the holds. Jericho goes flying back. Right now, we've got plenty of people down in the ring. Sammy down on the outside. Jericho, Claudio down in the ring. And tag, in comes Danielson, in comes Sammy. Danielson's chest is red raw. So Danielson getting into the ring, squaring up to Sammy. Sammy with some forearm strikes. I never understand this modern... I think it comes from Japan, but this allowing your opponent to hit you. Like, seeing Sammy there just throw these forearms to the side of Danielson's head and Danielson just taking it. Like, I understand it's like a bravado, arrogance thing, but I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I want to see these two battling to find out who the best is. And, like, this... I feel like that spot works for certain performers, but I feel like everyone does it now. It's like everyone does this, like, you know, slap me. Go on, slap me. Give me your hardest slap and I'll show you that I can take it. I feel like that's a cool thing for a wrestler to do. Someone like, say, Eddie Kingston. But when everyone does it, it just waters it down. You see it in, like, so many matches now. Sammy gets to the bottom rope. Days, I think post-Full Gear should be a full reset for AEW. They need to get back to what worked at the beginning, build some new stars, and build some new faces. They just need some interesting stories, I think. I think they've got some great talent, but they just need some interesting stories. Whenever we talk about, like, what AEW are struggling with at the moment, the conversation tends to come back to, you know, what are the compelling stories they're doing at the moment? And obviously MJF. But really outside of that, I don't know that there's loads happening. I mean, obviously the Elite coming back is good, and that's exciting. You could maybe say Britt Baker and Saraya, but I don't know that the build for that has been brilliant. So I feel like they just need some good stories. Sammy goes up, European uppercut. Jericho, double axe handle. Claudio goes to the outsides. So Danielson's down. Jericho is down. Forearm strike here by Jericho. Danielson against the ropes. Going quick, hitting the ropes hard. Love to see it. They both collide into each other. Both guys go down. It's the modern version of hulking up, says Kyle. Paul says AEW is better than Easy Money Roman, said J-Boy. Toxplicity said everyone on the roster seems to be just wrestling and not telling stories. Kingston Punk was good. Joe Wardlow has potential. That's true, actually. Joe Wardlow does have potential. That's true. Right, we've got the swing. Claudio swinging Jericho around. Spinning around, going round and round and round. He grabs the club, turns him over into a sharpshooter. And there we go, he taps him out. So Jericho taps to Claudio. The winners are Claudio and Bryan Danielson. There's too many factions, says Kevin. Not enough individual talent and storylines. It's like watching Los Barracos versus The Nation. Versus DOA. Okay, so Jericho's down. Claudio's got the baseball bat. And he was just poking him in the chest with him saying something. I think trying to get his point across. Now we're seeing Moxley. Moxley. So we're just seeing Jon Moxley talking about his match with MJF, little video package. It's going to take MJF's match of his lifetime. I've stared into the void of death. What are you going to do to me, says Jon Moxley. I'm very interested in the booking of that match. I am very interested in the booking of that match. How do you book that match? How do you book MJF versus Jon Moxley? Clearly, MJF is going to need to do something to get an advantage. Because if they just wrestle, I've got to imagine Jon Moxley wipes the floor with MJF. I mean, Moxley doesn't know any boundaries. So, I mean, like, he'll go as far as he needs to go. That's not a problem. I think MJF would be willing to go with him and bleed as well. I think bleeding is not a problem for MJF, but you know, Moxley will be quite happy getting tangled up in barbed wire and all this kind of stuff if needed. Well, I don't know how MJF... What can MJF do? You do feel like there's going to have to be some outside interference, or he's going to have to use the ring, or there's going to have to be something that he does to get that advantage over Jon Moxley. But I don't know, because the story that they're telling is that MJF wants the respect of being the best, basically. He works hard and he believes he's the best and he wants to show that he's the best. But then also you've got William Regal saying that he's not a real heel yet. And this could be where MJF shows that he is a true villain by stealing the championship. I don't know. Is it going to be William Regal? Could William Regal turn on Moxley? Could it be a big swerve, which has sort of been teased? Could it be that gives MJF the advantage? Because Moxley won't be expecting that, will he? Maybe the referee gets knocked down. Regal gets in the ring. Low blow by Regal. And MJF gets the job done and becomes the new champion. And Regal aligns himself with MJF and says that he can see a lot of himself in young Maxwell, Jacob Freeman, and maybe that would be a good way forward. I don't know. Is Blackpool Combat Club working? I think if we were to end that, I don't think it'd be the end of the world. Paul Carpenter said, what network do you watch yours on? What network do I watch it on? I watch it on Fight TV. Fight TV. So here in the UK, I don't believe it's actually shown anywhere live apart from Fight TV. So if you want to watch it live here in the UK, you have to subscribe $4.99 a month, or it might be $6.99 now a month, and that gets you AEW. I could see Regal turning heel, giving MJF the brass knuckles. He'll manage him for a while until MJF starts to treat him like a butler. What do you think about that theory? Yeah, I think that would be pretty fun. It does feel like it needs something like that. It does feel like it needs... Because if they just wrestle clean, MJF doesn't win. I don't think that's controversial. MJF doesn't win. So I think that he's going to have to do something. And it's going to need to be quite shocking as well, I think, yeah. Because if he just uses the brass ring, we've seen that before, and I feel like it's going to need to be something more than that. So I really like the William Regal thing. I really like that. And they've already laid the groundwork for it. You know, big segment the other week, of course. So, yeah, I'm on board with that happening. If it goes that way, I think that would be really fun. Right, we're seeing a body bag in the crowd at a festival, at a gig. It seems like Darby Allin. Someone's picking up the body bag that's on the floor. And we're in a desert, black and white. Someone's got some very nice AEW gloves. Yeah, it is Darby in that bag. It's Sting that picks up Darby. Darby with blood running down his head. Sting laughs and says it's showtime. Jericho turned into every wrestler that he has complained about. All he does is bury everyone, says Paul. Carlos said MJF theory, Mania 2025 for the WWE title. Do you think Jericho losing before the pay-per-view is stupid? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I feel like it's a bit of a throwaway match, that. It's one of those matches that by the time we get to Full Gear, are we even going to remember that it happened? Oh, listen! Listen! Yo! Brand new video world premiere. You ain't special. You're about to get burnt like Jay Leno. I don't get what happened with Leno. I do find, I don't know why, but I just find more recently a lot of their references, I haven't got a flipping clue what they're on about. Jay Leno, what's happened to him? Okay. Jay Leno is recovering after being burnt in a fire. Do we need to reference that? Seriously burnt after his car bursts into flames? May need skin grafts. Did we need to reference that in the rap? Whoa, what's going on? Captain Insano is here. Is this the video? So we've got Captain Insano. That's pretty fun. Should I know who these guys are? I feel like they're probably famous. They're playing the role of Keith Lee and Swerve. So they're taking the mick out of Keith Lee and Swerve. Right, now we're on a beach. Okay, this is pretty fun. There's a line I liked where he said your tag partner looks like Cleveland Jr. How you going to be a rapper when you can't spit? How you going to be a mogul on the D list? This feels like Raw 2010. It's all right. It's got some funny lines in it. It's not bad. Only a snake would align with the media. I feel like that's a shot to something, but I don't know what it's a shot to. I feel like it could have done with some. I feel like it could have done with some more killer lines in it. There were some nice lines in it, but I actually find their intro raps to be a bit funnier than that was. Still done well though. It sounded all right. Swerve's not a fan though. Swerve's giving it a thumbs down. Thumbs down by Sneaky Swerve. The best wrestling song since Vince McMahon's Stand Back. What's your excitement level for Full Gear? Probably about a 7. Probably about a 7. I think there's some decent matches on that card. Always a bit unsure with AEW pay-per-views because there was a lot of bad ones in the early days. Recent ones have been very good, though. Very good. We've still got Jade Cargill in action against Nyla Rose, which I just don't give a flip about. But Moxley and MJF, I think, will be decent. Jamie Hayter going for the women's title will be good. Acclaimed against Swerve in Our Glory. I'm down for that. So a little comment there about how they wish Jay Leno the best. You reckon they'll get in trouble for the Jay Leno line? Because that seems a little bit off, to be honest. I think it's all right to go after people that have done something wrong and deserve to have a little bit of ridicule. But I think someone like Jay Leno that had 3rd-degree burns and is seriously injured, I don't think that's what we should be doing. They've got to have checked that with Tony Khan. Certainly after the Julia Hart incident, got to think that they had that checked. I'm going to have a nap before Full Gear. It's going to be 6 hours, says Jeremy. Jade Cargill against Wardlow. That's what I want to see. Swerve is walking to the ring just like he got a massage. He's not upset at all, says Corey. Well, you say that, Corey, but when he first walked out, he was going... He certainly didn't agree with what he heard. Will there be a media scrum after Full Gear? There probably will, but I can't see any way that it's going to have the fireworks of the last one. Adesanya was arrested for carrying brass knucks into an airport. Maybe he was looking for another fight with Alec Pereira, says Tim. The Jay Leno line was the best, says your beach, Kevin. AR1 said sup, Double J. 420 times, said Justin. Will the Elite show up tonight? Will the Elite show up? We have got... Oh, it's close, you know. 51% of people said no. 49% of people said yes. Carl said, didn't he make a career of making fun out of people? I'm sure he won't take offense. I mean, I don't know because I didn't watch his show, so I can't comment on that. I can only imagine he probably made fun out of people that seemingly deserved it. People that did stuff wrong. I mean, if he was making fun of, like, just, I don't know, people that have... I don't know, I don't understand. In 2022, why are we making fun of someone or referencing someone that's been burned in an accident? Like, for me, I mean, I don't class myself as a snowflake, but I just think there's got to be other things you can reference instead of that. I didn't even know about it, but apparently, like, third-degree burns and, like... might need skin grafts and all this kind of stuff. Just think of all the things to mention. That's the thing we're mentioning. Hey ho, don't matter. Right, Swerve in the ring. AR Fox needs to be signed full-time. He needs a contract ASAP, says Dominic. AR1 said Jade Cargill against Brian Cage. Spoiler, Jade wins. MJF makes an appearance on the show. He's doing a promo later, apparently. Right, Bowen against the ropes. We're already 40 minutes into this show. Paul said he didn't make fun of people who were hurt. What dude is the TBS champion? Jade's the TBS champion, but Nyla is claiming to be the champion. I think she stole the belt, didn't she, or something? I mean, that story's been going on for a few weeks, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. That's not a story that's really grabbed me, to be honest. Swerve has got Bowen in the center of the ring. Strikes coming into the side of the heads. Forearm strike there by Swerve. That storyline did have me confused, said Justin. Jay Leno was burnt when he was working on one of his cars. He's got an amazing car collection. I have seen that, actually. I saw a video. I can't remember who it was, but someone that I know, no, not me personally, but like someone famous went round and had a little tour of his garage. And I ended up watching the video. It's not the kind of video I'd be interested in, but I ended up watching it, and his car collection is stunning. Yeah, stunning. Blood on the in the mouth of Bowens, and Swerve is doing push-ups on top of Bowens. Fight Forever was winner of Best Sports Game at a recent awards. You can pre-order it at GameStop. Do we know when that's coming out yet? Has the actual release date been announced for AEW Fight Forever? AEW Fight Forever. Let's have a look. Free delivery, blah, 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 blah. It says 2022, but I think that's incorrect, isn't it? Designed by Ukes, career mode, customization, online co-op, pre-order. No. No date that I can see for it. I think they are saying it's going to be around 2023, early 2023 now. Yeah, according to Amazon, it said this will be released on December 31st, but I think that's a pretty standard, generic sort of stopgap thing. The Cowabunga collection on Xbox is $22.99 now. That's not bad. I still haven't picked that up, you know. It's on sale, actually. It's normally $34.99. How much is it on Steam? Might get it on Steam. Right, we've got Bowen back up on his feet. Charging over, Swerve in the corner. Just looking to see how much the Cowabunga thing is on Steam. Still $34.99. Sucks. 1, 2, shoulder up. I want Athena to be champion. She's so talented, but she never gets the shine that she deserves, says AR1. William said, may I just say the conversation sucks without talking about the World Cup. I mean, honestly, it's so huge. How can we not talk about it? Listen, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to talk about the World Cup. Every day we'll be doing streams that will be like 2 or 3 games. So there'll be plenty of conversation time there. Nice suplex by Swerve. Justin said, I think the game's out on January 12th. Okay. Undercover Manager says, why wouldn't they release it before Christmas? The fools. I don't think it's ready, to be honest. I'm under the impression it's around February, March, but maybe it is January. I was set to watch AEW till Sling shut you out. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sling. I've never heard of Sling. Can you not log back in? Is it just one of those that it's just maybe glitched for a moment? Were you Nintendo or Sega? I had a Mega Drive, but I wanted the SNES. I was Sega. I had a Mega Drive. I got the Mega CD. I didn't get a Saturn, because I think that was next. I didn't get a Saturn. I always wanted the 64. I never wanted a SNES. I always wanted the 64 for GoldenEye. My mate had it. So, yeah, I was really happy with the Mega Drive. Loved the Mega Drive. But I always wanted a 64. Never got that. And then I think the next computer I got was a GameCube, which at the time was not that great, to be honest. But in retrospect now, was actually a really good console. It was a really good console. So, Swerve gets the win. So, yeah, then I got that. And then I ended up getting PS1. Do you know what? I honestly don't think I ever got the PS2. And I can't think for the life of me why I never got a PS2. I think I started work and I just was working all the time. So I never got a chance to play. And so I don't think I ever had a PS2. But I did get a PS3. And I did get a PS4. I have really never even used my PS4. It's just sat in the corner, just unloved. So, yeah, I have no desire to get a PS5. I might get the PS6. I might get that or wait for the PS10. But yeah, I was a Sega guy. Sega. Right, we're just seeing an advert now for Nyla Rose against Jade Cargill. Swerve was just victorious over Anthony Bowens. You don't know me. You know me. Yes, you do. It's one of my favorite promos ever. I loved the 64. I've still got the original Genesis and Dreamcast at AR1. 64 was amazing. I mean, GoldenEye was amazing. Mario Kart was amazing. Super Mario 64 was amazing. I've never played any Legend of Zelda game, right? Which is good and bad. It's bad because I feel like you should play at least one in your life. But it's good because it means I've got what I can only imagine is going to be a great experience awaiting me. So, Samoa Joe coming down. Oh, what's this? We got Flames. It's Kane. It's Kane. Joe making his way down. Joe. Joe getting a good reaction from the crowds. Joe. Crowd are cheering him even though he beat up Wardlow last week. Ring of Honor television champion betrayed Wardlow on last week's Dynamite. Tony Schiavone in the ring then. Let's see what some... I like his shirt. Don't like his jeans. Why did this go down, Joe? A few Wardlow chants. I get the PS5, says Shaquem. I want to see Dean Ambrose versus Daniel Bryan versus Rusev versus Cesaro versus Buddy Murphy versus Eric Rowan on AEW, says Miguel. You state that it's a shocker what I did to Wardlow. Tony is a little intimidated. Is it shocking? Is it shocking for a man to refuse to be a victim? If you put it that way, no, says Tony. What happened to Paige? Oh, she's on the show later. Joe has been underused for a while, said Jade Boy. Yeah, that's true. He shouldn't have attacked Wardlow. He should have attacked flipping Tony Khan. Good promo by Samoa Joe, you know. He's really fired up. He talks about how everyone there are the kind of people that wait for someone to save them. Well, I save myself. Here's Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs coming out. If you haven't noticed. I've been kicking Wardlow's ass for the past several weeks. Bet you didn't even notice, did you, Samoa Joe? Typical man. Let's all go back to death matching in Doom, said Kevin. Phone game systems coming into their own. You can play anywhere formatting, says William. That's true. That's true. Phone games are really good. Powerhouse was about to get into the ring. Samoa Joe is in the ring, is looking around for Wardlow. Wardlow's music has hit. They don't know quite where Wardlow's going to come from. Wardlow has come from the crowds. Wardlow, spear, down goes Samoa Joe. Joe with some strikes. When locker rooms come down, they're going to look to separate these guys. So the locker room has come down there, putting Wardlow in one corner, They're keeping Joe in the other corner. Less people are having to restrain Powerhouse Hobbs. There's about 20 people trying to restrain Samoa Joe. About 20 people trying to restrain Wardlow. There's about 2 people on Powerhouse Hobbs. Security guys are being beaten up. Dark Order are not standing in Wardlow's way. Dark Order are like, go on, we ain't getting in your way. Wardlow is going to go against the ropes. Over the top. And everyone goes down. Yay! Just jumped over and everyone went down. About 20 grown men wiped off their feet by a flying Wardlow. I've been away for a few. It was personal. Irish, welcome back. Kevin said, Wardlow, it's still not too late for you. Please, God, book him right. Hard to do facial graphics for phone RP games, says William. We are going to commercial break, 52 minutes into the show. And feels like a go home, to be honest. Feels like a go home, but it is a go home. So I don't know that this is really a Dynamite that we should be comparing to other Dynamites. It is what it is. It's all about Saturday. So they're really just trying to build up the hype for this weekend. So the kids' cheering effect didn't work. Did it not work? Hang on. Because the sound was turned down. Ah. There we go. Now it works. I turned it down because I think someone said they could hear an ad playing. I think it might have been during UFC or something. So I turned it down for that reason and it was still down. This is Wardlow's best booking since MJF, says Jono. Alexis says AR Fox has been outstanding on AEW Dark shows. Brian said Xbox players are lucky because they get the AEW game on Xbox Pass on day one for only $15. That is how much the subscription costs. Really? So they buy the subscription and they'll be able to play the AEW game. Wow. Do you know that subscription thing's such a good idea because like buying individual games is just so expensive. But if you could actually subscribe to something and then have access to a library of games, I mean, that just feels like way better. I think the only problem is that you obviously need to stream them. And I don't know how good the streaming is. I mean, for me here, it's not going to be that good, is it? Because my internet's not brilliant. So yeah, kind of need the technology to catch up. But eventually, I mean, it's probably there or thereabouts. And it certainly would work for a lot of people with strong internets. But yeah, I'm probably still a little bit behind on that front. But I can see a very bright future for video games. One that's going to demand even more of our time, unfortunately. At the moment, like, if you don't have a game, like, well, tough. But that whole kind of library, Xbox, what is it called? Xbox Pass or something? Like, it's a good idea, that is. That's Google Stadia was the same, wasn't it? But that's now closed down because it wasn't financially working for them. Here's Britt Baker. You told me I don't have what it takes to be a star. I've been on TV for 3 years. And in those 3 years, I've gone from a nervous, happy to be here girl to a tenacious face. She's not a face, she's a heel. In 3 years, I became my own damn role model. I became undeniable. I didn't wrestle in Madison Square Garden. I wrestled in Daly's place. When the fans couldn't come to us, we were there for them. This isn't a heel promo. She's saying that she respects her and she respects that she came back. But she's basically saying how much she loves the fans, loves AEW. What you're not going to do is stand there, belittle me, belittle my accomplishments. I'm the heart, soul, and pulse of AEW. And if you think you're above that, you can get the hell out. This is my house. What the flip was that promo? What was that promo? Isn't... I don't understand. Isn't she the heel? She's just basically positioned herself as Mrs. AEW. How are the fans going to boo her in that? It makes me want Britt to win against Saraya, said Erasure Mind. CM Punk showing up at MMA, said Angel. He was doing a commentary job, wasn't he? Right, we've got Top Flight coming down. Top Flight and AR Fox versus Death Triangle. So, hour gone. About to start hour number 2. I really hope Saraya is good, because honestly, so many people get hurt in AEW because of recklessness. I'm going to be nervous watching her first match, said Justin. Where's the lie, says Terminal 52. Well, she's not lying. I mean, she is the face of the women's division. But I feel like she really needed to put a heelish spin on it. She needed to, like, lay into the fans or... I mean, surely we're putting Saraya over, yeah? Yeah, we are, yeah? I'm guessing we are. But at the moment, what all we're doing is we're splitting the fans. Like, who's going to boo Britt? Don't know. I don't quite see where the booking's going on that at the moment, unless we're trying to make them both faces and get a bit of a Rock Hogan sort of vibe. But even that wasn't two faces. I mean, Hogan came in as the heel, and then during the match turned into the face, and The Rock turned into the heel during the match, really. But I don't know. You wouldn't really expect it to bring Paige back for her first match and have her take on the biggest face in the company if that's how Britt's trying to position herself. I just find it very strange. You would think they would want Saraya to be cheered and Saraya to be over and Saraya to have the full support of the crowd. But the way that Britt's doing her promo, like, that's not going to happen. At the moment, the crowd are going to be split. If anything, the crowds are going to be on Britt's side. Are they trying to make Paige a heel, do you think? I wonder if they're trying to make Paige the heel. I don't think they are. When she came back, she was with the face team. I can only imagine they're trying to do face versus face. I can only imagine that. Or here's an interesting thought. Has Britt gone a bit rogue? Maybe Tony does want Britt to be a heel, but maybe a few things have been said that have upset Britt, and she just wants to set the record straight. And by setting the record straight, she's kind of losing fact that she is meant to be the heel. I don't know. I find it quite interesting. We'll find out more on, I think we'll hear from Saraya later. And we'll see, obviously, the dynamic of the match on Saturday. Who's the greatest babyface in the history of our sport? Is it Ricky Steamboat or is it Britt Baker? I heard Ricky Steamboat say he wished he could be like Britt Baker. Back in the day, actually. In the late 80s, when he was taking on Ric Flair, early 90s, I remember him doing promos saying, I want to be just like Britt Baker. Yeah, very good. Saying it, he turns his back on his boys, says Paul. Saying it, he turns his back on his boys. Don't know what you mean. What do you mean? What do you mean, Paul? William said, Paige versus Britt value when you bid to get an arena. Arenas want admission. Paige is a bigger name with a broader audience. Sponsors that Paige brings with her versus Britt's hard work and intelligence. So you think they want to do face versus face? Paige is going to bring the non-AEW fans and Britt represents the AEW fans maybe. The only thing I would say to that is I don't think Paige is bringing loads of non-AEW fans. I think people will largely have made their minds up by now. And even if she does bring a nice amount, she's certainly not going to bring as many fans as there are already AEW fans, you know. If she does bring some fans over that want to check out her first match, they're probably not going to be in the crowds. And if they are, they're going to be in the minority. So you are definitely splitting the crowds. You are definitely going to have... Well, I have to think, if you position Britt to be Mrs. AEW, the heart, the pulse of AEW, then I've got to think the AEW fans are going to lean towards her because she is right. I mean, she was there during the lockdown. She has been the best woman on the roster. And the fans will not forget that. Have to see. It's very interesting. AR Fox back in the corner. I have not seen much of AR Fox. I feel like I might have seen him on Dynamite before. Cutter on Pac. I rather Britt. She has more potential, says Sergio. Hogan was a bigger babyface than Cena could ever hope to be, says Corvids. Did you see Jake Paul was able to commentate on Tommy Fury's fight? Yes, we did the live watch-along. Sent on by A.R. Fox. Big kick there by Penta. Phoenix up top. Rolls through. Top flight. Planting Phoenix. This is Braun Strowman's favorite match, says Jeremy. Pac gets hurled towards AR Fox. He hits a cutter. Top flight and AR Fox are in control. All three in the ring going against the ropes, but they run into super kicks. Kick to the midsection there by Pac. Kick by Penta and Phoenix. Basement drop kick. Super kicks there by both of the guys. Against the ropes. Down. Get planted on top of AR Fox. 1, 2. Kick out by AR Fox. Pac with the pin. You don't want to miss a moment. Make sure you join us after the break. Wow, I just got an email from Google Store. Just popped in. And it says, the wait is over. Sit back and save. Black Friday starts now. That is from Google Store. Black Friday has begun. Bum, ba, ba, da. Save £450 off the Pixel 7 with an eligible phone trade-in. Save £100 on Pixel 6a. Save £20 on Chromecast with Google TV. Save £45 on Nest Hub. Save £29 on Nest Mini. Save £40 on Google Wi-Fi. What's Google Wi-Fi? What is Google Wi-Fi? Do I need Google Wi-Fi? Purchase a single Google Wi-Fi. It serves as a standalone router or add existing Wi-Fi points. What is that? What's Google Wi-Fi? I've never even heard of flipping Google Wi-Fi. Is it good? Will it improve my Wi-Fi? That's my question. Okay, maybe I might look at that. Wi-Fi that just works. It helps blanket your home in fast, reliable Wi-Fi. Reduce buffering in every room. Okay, I'm listening. Simple setup. Okay. It gives you coverage squared. Oh, what's coverage squared? Coverage squared? From video calling to watching 4K videos, Google Wi-Fi gets the most out of your streaming service and connected devices. Coverage in the whole home. Well, I'm quite excited by this. Google Wi-Fi. Okay. Right, well, might look into that. Why avoid WWE, AEW? You bought the pawns. Use them. Black Friday should be a wrestling tag team name. We've got, they normally do some good Black Friday deals on Ringside Collectibles. So if you are into your wrestling figures, check them out. Check them out. Black Friday is officially all elites. Right, we've got AR Fox down in the corner. Boot there by AR Fox. UK doesn't have coverage squared. They use the metric system, says Alexis. Oh, Google Wi-Fi has been around for about 10 years. They've had 3 revisions. Google refuses to implement basic things that other companies include in their mesh routers. Okay. So we're saying it's not that good. I mean, I've already got like a Wi-Fi router thing that's pretty strong. So I can't imagine it's better than the one I've got. But I'm always looking for innovation. And Google are known for innovation. Right. Pac in the ring. Top Flight in the ring. Goes back against the ropes. Phoenix. I don't even know what I'm watching here. We've got Pac almost super kicking Phoenix. If Black Friday was the tag team, all they would do is sell, said Kevin. Yes. Yes. That's very good. That's very good. That's very good. Right, Top Flight on the outside. AR Fox on the outside as well. They go in between the ropes. Suicide dive over the top. Comes crashing down. And down goes Pac. Down goes Phoenix. AR Fox is looking to... Wow. AR Fox lands down on Phoenix and Pac as well. I'm saying it's pricey for what it offers. There are better options, says Corbin. William says, social media is so powerful. How could WWE really ignore something like that? Seeing themselves being portrayed by elderly superstars. What are you referencing, William? Fox going up top. AR Fox crashing down. 1, 2, and Death Triangle make the save. Death Triangle throwing Top Flight out the ring. He got some hype there, says the Beach Kevin. I think it's Pinnacle versus Inner Circle. Kick there by Penta. AR Fox in the ring. Phoenix is going up top. Driven down. Against the ropes goes Phoenix. He goes through the ropes. Couple of more people go down on the outside. Pac is up top. AR Fox is down. Black Arrow by Pac. 2, 3, and Death Triangle win. Death Triangle get the victory. They retain the Trios Championships. Are we about to see the elites? The elite. The elite. The elite. I mean, I feel like we'll see them at Full Gear. Could there be a video? Could there be a challenge? People in the poll bit split as to whether we see them tonight. If we do see them, it would feel like it would be this segment. Here's Pac. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Do you think Death Triangle is stupid? Yes. Oh. Do you think we're not aware of what's going on? Do you think we've not seen the videos? Heard the rumors? If there are people that think they can return this Saturday at Full Gear, they think they can mosey in. Well, that's ridiculous. Well, that's ridiculous. You know who you are. He's talking about Kenny and the Bucks. And the Elite. I'll make it simple. We are. Well, that's not very simple at all, is it? I don't know what they said. I'm going to make this very simple for you. We are. I don't know what they said. That wasn't simple enough, Pac. We have Cero Miro. They have got no Miro. There's AEW World Trios Championship, Full Gear. So there we go. Death Triangle against the Elites at Full Gear. Finally, some transparency. Does that count as them showing up? So it's been announced that it is going to be the Elite against Death Triangle at Full Gear for the Trios Championship. Whoa, buddy! The Elite. They said zero fear, said Justin. Will Full Gear be better than War Games? What do you think? I don't know we don't know the War Games card yet, do we? Technically, we saw them, says Kyle. Joel said, amazing match, amazing segment. I am keen for that. Liam Ricky Starks. Let's freaking go, said Sem. Weird setup. Crowd reacted appropriately, says NH. What's ridiculous is those ears of Neville, says Robs. Right, we got Ricky Starks He doesn't talk in if, and, or maybes. He talks in absolutes. Right, all ego, Ethan Page. This is a semi-final. That's it. That's all the reaction I get, says Ethan Page. Well, listen to Ethan Page. And Saturday, I'm going to be number one contender. I don't care if it's Mox or Max. I will be the next world champ. What happened with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky? Do you remember when they were together all the time with Dan Lambert? I know they've not been together for a long time. I just can't remember how they went their separate ways. Did they have a falling out? Are they still friends? I seriously don't know. Antonio Claudio is better than Brody Lee. Junior, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Oh, yo, listen. And now I have a match I'm looking forward to more than MJF and Moxley, said Eric. Since Page is the guy that first attacked MJF when the firm turned on him, it only makes sense that he's the one to win the tournament. That's a good shout. That would mean, though, that we need a face MJF because you wouldn't do heel against heel. So does that mean that he's not going to cheat to win? Or will he cheat to win, but he'll be a cheeky heel that the crowd love? Because if you're going to do MJF against Ethan Page is the heel. You're not going to have Ethan Page be the face, are you? So that's interesting. That kind of, if it does go that way, kind of gives a bit of a guide to what the future holds. Antonio is the greatest of all time, says Rocky. They separated, but with no explanation. Oh, that's why I don't remember it. Okay. I was adamant that I was just thinking, then I was like, I've probably missed something on Dark. Maybe something big happened on Dynamite, and I just can't remember it. But I just wondered why we had separated them, or how we separated them. Bandido going against the ropes. Comes back, gets picked up round the houses. Down goes all ego Ethan Page. Bandido charges over. Uppercut there by Bandido. Scorpio Sky's injured, says Jim. Thank you. I think MJF is working with the firm still, said Justin. Okay. Still to come tonight, we've got the AEW Interim Women's Championship. I heard that Thunder Rosa doesn't know when she's coming back, which has kind of sparked a big conversation about should she potentially give up the belt and should Toni Storm be the real women's champion? I mean, probs would be my answer. Probs that she should, but I don't know that she is going to do that. Against the ropes, what's happening? Ethan just grabbed a hold of the referee. I think it was so Stokely Hathaway could grab Bandido. Ethan Page with some clubbing blows as Bandido is down. Can we see a return of Toy Hunts? There's one that's been recorded, so there will be one on the way soon. What song would you use for your entrance for coming to the ring? I would have a big dance track. I don't know why there's not more dance music that's used. There's a lot of like rap, and there's a lot of a bit of pop, a bit of like indie pop, a bit of metal, quite a bit of metal, but there's not much in the way of dance music. If you think like Naomi had a bit of dance music, she had a bit of a dance vibe. But I mean, I'd be looking at like some Prodigy or something like that, or imagine Daft Punk. Like you could have some killer Daft Punk track as well. Yeah, I'd definitely be looking at something that really, when you play it, like it's got some energy to it and gets people going. I feel like Thea Hale, when she goes off on her own, she's going to need some like upbeat dance music to come out to. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to Caden and Katana Chance's music. I can only imagine that must be dance-based because they're always like bobbing around, dancing around. They've got a lot of energy, so I think they've probably got some like dance music. But it's actually quite rare. There's not loads of dance music that's used for entrance themes. And I don't really know why, because it's instant, like, boom, boom, boom. Do you know what I mean? Like, gets you going straight away. People just love the vibe of metal music, though, don't they? Kind of, it's heavy, it's dark, it's moody. And it kind of works for a lot of characters. That wouldn't really work for me. If I'm coming out, I'm not really going to pull off dark and moody, am I? If I'm coming out, I'm going to have to be in, like, bright colors and tassels. And an inflated bodysuit so that it looks like I've got some sort of physique. Thunder Rosa has started jogging this week, says Junior. I could see Days coming out to Firestarter. Yeah, that's a tune. Firestarter's a great tune. No Good Start the Dance as well, or Out of Space. Like, there's a few Prodigy tracks that are just fantastic. One of my favorite acts actually is the Prodigy. But as I said, you could look at Chemical Brothers, you could look at Daft Punk, you could look at Justice. There's quite a few dance groups that have got some really great tracks. I don't know that I could necessarily give you like a name of a track, but it would definitely be dance based. Dalton Castle and the Boys versus the Elite versus Death Triangle, says Kyle. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. Bum, 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 bum. She was mine, being a queen on a moving scene. Yeah. That'll get the crowd going. Man in the Mirror. Dirty Diana. Dirty Diana. Huh. Waterloo by ABBA. Boney M. How about a bit of Boney M? Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Heart now sing, the angels sing. He was born today. Yeah! Days. Ed Sheeran, Shape of You. I'm in love with the shape of you. Yeah. Smash it, make him humble, Days. Make him humble. Ed Sheeran, there we go. I'd come out to Ed Sheeran. I don't even like Ed Sheeran. Right, this match underway. Bandido in the corner. Mitchell says Bandido is awesome. Sing Dawson's Creek. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over, 'cause when they're over, everything is over. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Come out to that. Everyone will be in tears. Oh, God. They certainly will when they have to watch the match. Bandido, look at the power. One arm press as he jumps up top. If he lands this, he's going to be the greatest. Oh, and he does. Frog splash after the Eddie shimmy. And shoulder up by Ethan Page. I don't see Zack Ryder returning, says Rick. This is the karaoke stream, said Isri. Well, it's been a bit of everything. It's been a World Cup stream, karaoke stream. Yeah, had a bit of AEW in there as well. Bandido climbing up. Bandido Top rope. Ethan Page knocks into the ropes. Bandido comes crashing down. He's hurt his leg. Oh, he's had a boo-boo. He's had a boo-boo. He's hurt his leg. Ethan Page climbing up. Strike there by Bandido. We're over in the corner. Winner of this going to Full Gear. Ethan Page showing great resilience. Trying to pick up Bandido. Plants Bandido down. Ethan Page on the top. Oh! Launches himself with a shoulder tackle from the top rope. Grabs Bandido, picks him up on his shoulders. An ego edge. Ego edge. 1, 2, 3. Bandido has got to Bandigo because all ego Ethan Page is going through to Full Gear. Stokely Hathaway has come in with a sign. Says all ego all the way to gold. Here is Luchasaurus. Ethan beat Bandido, said Rick. Yes. What a bunch of BS. A bad wrestler beat a good wrestler, says Jonathan. A.R. Fox reminds me of Lionel Richie, early Commodores phase. Wow. For once, twice, 3 times a wrestler, and I love you. Yes, you're 1, twice. Beautiful. You should come out to that. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Oh, what a feeling when you're dancing on the ceiling. That'd be all right. I guess Bandido had to babysit tonight. Jilly said Bandido was going to sign with WWE, but he went with AEW because he's got a 2-year-old with his girlfriend that he loves living in Mexico. If you join WWE, he'd have to move to Florida. Steel cage match. Jungle Boy Jack Perry taking on Luchasaurus. Dr. Britt Baker takes on Saraya. Renee Paquette. We was just told by Excalibur that Saraya sat down with Renee earlier. We go backstage. They are both standing. That is the biggest botch in wrestling history. Right there. Excalibur said she sat down with her. We go straight backstage to watch the clip. They are both standing. It is shocking. It is shocking. I got an opportunity to be here. I want to be here. I chose to be here, says Saraya. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I will see you on Saturday. And I just can't believe anything Excalibur says now. I can't believe a single word he says. Tony Storm taking on Anna Jay. Coming up next. I'm honestly tired of Saraya, says Mitchell. What's your take on Miz versus Dexter? If Dexter wins, gets contract, and Miz owes him full payment. I'm really split on it because I think it's been a fairly big story. I enjoyed the reveal of what had really been going on. The only problem is I don't think it builds up much sympathy on Dexter because, as I said during the watch-along, Dexter knowingly went to work for The Miz. And if you go into business with The Miz, you've got to know that you're going to be screwed over. And I understand he was out of work and desperate for money. So he probably just took the chance. He probably just decided, I'll take the chance, right? So I can understand that. But I don't understand why I should have really sympathy for that. Like, there's other ways to make money. And so he has decided to work with The Miz. And he's been screwed over. And it's like, well, yeah, that was probably always going to happen, wasn't it, Dexter? It was probably always going to go that way. So I don't know. I'm looking at it thinking like it doesn't really build much sympathy up for Dexter. I don't find myself like rooting for Dexter. Like, come on, get your revenge. I can't believe he didn't pay you. Of course I can believe he didn't pay you. It's The Miz. So I think it was a good try, a different story, somewhat a bit different. I think they gave it a good go, but I think in reflection, it's just got a few flaws for me. So I mean, look, once we're done with the match, that's it. We can move on to something different. I think Dexter wins. I think he gets his contract. I think he gets paid, and then we move on to something else. So. Yeah, a feud that's had some nice moments in it, but a few bits that I look at and go, not sure about that. Not sure about that part of the story. But I appreciate them telling a different story. I appreciate that. I appreciate not just getting the same bland type of matches and builds again and again and again and again. They have tried something different, so got to give them props for that. There was a report that Chelsea Green's return to WWE is undeniable. Do you think Trips brings back Matt Cardona? I'm not bothered. I'm not a Matt Cardona fan. I wasn't a fan of Zack Ryder. I'm not a fan of Matt Cardona. I don't hate him. I ain't got an issue with him. If he comes back, fine. But that is not one I'm clamoring for. So I don't really understand why Chelsea Green's coming back in, to be honest. She never really did anything in WWE. Don't know. If Trips sees something in her, so wants to bring her in. I don't know that means that Matt Cardona comes back as well. But probably does make it more likely. It's got to be good for his chances. It's not a bad thing for his chances, is it? So there's maybe a chance. But I think actually he's managed to get himself over with wrestling fans better outside of WWE. He seems to be taking, a lot of opportunities that are coming his way, working for different companies. I think the people that are into Matt Cardona are into him and really like what he's doing right now. But, I mean, Zack Ryder, who wants to see Zack Ryder come back? I don't know that there's anyone clamoring for the return of Zack Ryder. Right, here is Jericho Appreciation Society again. This time it is Anna J. Anna J. A.S. 11-2 in a past 13 matches. Anna Jay making her way down to the ring. She is taking on Toni Storm. Triple H is bringing everyone back so that Tony Khan can't have them. Anyone going to WWE is just going to end up with 50-50 booking, says Junior. Tony is trying to stack Rampage heavy lately. I fear it's too late for Rampage, says Rick. Right, here's Toni Storm. In a few days' time, she takes on Jamie Hayter. So, Toni Storm against Jamie Hayter very soon. This weekend. So, Tony in the ring. Anna Jay is in the ring as well. Right, we're about to get underway with this one. Toni Storm against Anna Jay. I mean, the only thing, I don't know if this is for the title, but there's clearly, I mean, there's no way Anna Jay's winning this. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. If Anna Jay is victorious, she is the first challenger for the title after Full Gear. The only thing I would say is that it's a little bit weird, this new thing in wrestling where you have to beat the champion to get a championship match. Like, we don't do that in boxing, do we? It's not like if you beat Tyson Fury, you get to then face Tyson Fury for the title. Like, if you beat Tyson Fury, you're the champion. So it is a weird little thing, but at least it gives this match a purpose. It gives this match a reason. If she can beat her here, then she will go on to compete for the championship afterwards. Down. Anna Jay in control. Kick there by Anna Jay. So Anna Jay doing all right at the moment. Kick coming in. Picture in picture. Another kick coming in. Toni Storm down. In all fairness, Toni Storm should destroy Anna Jay. Knees to the back of the head here by Anna Jay. Anna Jay goes back to the corner. Comes back over. Grabs Toni. Toni. Foot to the face there by Anna Jay. I don't think it's a great way to get a title match because beating the champion before a pay-per-view makes the champion look weak going into Full Gear. Do you think AEW is a dangerous style? Yes, because I think that they do a lot of high spots and high risk spots. They do it to make the matches look as visually as impressive as possible. The trade-off to that is that it's a lot of big moves. I mean, it's not, headlocks, clotheslines, drop kicks, just the basics. Like, there's a lot of reverse ranas, drivers, just lots of big moves that get done in matches. And with those big moves, obviously, you mistime them. Those are the moves that cause big injuries. I don't think you need to do. For me personally, I don't think you need to do those big moves as often as what they do in AEW. Because I think what you can run the risk of is actually those moves don't make matches more enjoyable. What they do is they desensitize you to the big moves. So if it's big move, big move, big move, big move, you don't go, wow, wow, wow. Like, do you know what I mean? You're not getting crazier and crazier as you're watching the match. What actually happens is, like, you just watch all these big moves happening and you get desensitized to them and you're like, right, okay, reverse Rana. You just sort of know, well, he ain't going to pin him. And I've seen him hit this move so many times now. They ain't going to beat him with a reverse Rana, even though someone hit a reverse Rana in the 1990s in WWE. It would have blown everyone's mind. But like here, like, they just get chucked out in matches. So yeah, it is a dangerous style, but it's only dangerous if people that don't know how to do it are doing it. When you've got people like Penta, Phoenix, Pac, the Bucks, people along those lines, Top Flight, doing these kinds of moves, they know how to do them. I think the bigger problem I've got isn't so much that they're dangerous if they go wrong. It's that's not. It's not adding to the match. It doesn't make for a better match. If anything, I think it just means you've got to work harder. You've got to do more. You're doing more, but for not much return. Mitchell said, I don't get AEW's logic of who gets championship matches. They do have rankings, but they don't follow those. And now it's you have to beat the champ to get a title shot. UFC doesn't do that. No, but they do it in WWE, in all fairness. It's not just AEW that are doing the beat the champion to get a title shot thing. We've seen WWE do that as well. It just seems to be something that's in modern wrestling. It just seems to be... Well, the reason why they do it is because they want to get the champions on as often as possible And, if you have them on and in a match and they lose the match, but they don't lose the title, it actually sets up a title match. Then you can understand why that title match is happening, because the person has already beaten the champion. So you get why. And it also gets the champion into more matches and gets them on TV more. So it's just a way of getting your bigger stars onto TV. It's one of those, isn't it? It ticks ratings boxes. You look at it logistically as a fan that watches every week and you go, well, doesn't really make much sense, does it? The champion should be the end boss. The champion should be what you work towards. But from a production point of view, from a TV ratings point of view, if you can get Toni Storm on TV more often, this could be Anna Jay versus, I don't know, Ty Conti. Winner is going to have the first title shot after Full Gear. That wouldn't be as interesting, or wouldn't be as big as seeing, Toni Storm in there, or Britt Baker being in there, or whoever the champion is. So it's one of them, isn't it? A lot of things happen just to get the stars onto the shows. But I mean, you're right. This is where it all kind of comes into conflict, because you do have the ratings system, the ranking system, and people can look at that and say, well, why aren't we using that? Well, because to be honest, it might not reflect the show that Tony wants to book. The ranking system might actually be getting in the way. And so sometimes you might have to just ignore it. So I get it. I get why they do it. It's not the thing I would do, but either way, Toni Storm has won. Hater's gonna hate. Here comes Jamie Hater. But Mitchell, appreciate the support, dudes. Hope you had a good day. Here's Britt. Britt's got some shades on. Rebels coming down. Jamie in the ring. She says, no, I'm just here to talk. Watch your back, Tony. Couple of words being exchanged here by both women. Tony holds up that title, bumps into Jamie. Jamie pushes Tony back. Okay, there was no attack there. I thought almost certainly Britt Baker was going to be jumping round the back and walloping Tony from behind. Oh, here we go. AEW comes to London. AEW comes to London in 2023. Hook against what? Lee Johnson, is it? Athena taking on Madison Rayne. So we're just looking at Rampage, Full Gear Rampage. Lance Archer against Ricky Starks. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz against Akiyama and Takashita. I forget how you pronounce his name. I don't feel like I've seen him in a while, actually. John Moxley against MJF at Full Gear. So they're just going through what's on Rampage. They're just going through what's on Full Gear. Acclaimed against Swerve in Our Glory. I do love the moving graphics. They're great, aren't they? Toni Storm against Jamie Hater. Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, Claudio, Sammy Guevara. Jade Cargill against Nyla Rose. TBS champ versus TBS champ. Sting and Darby take on Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Britt Baker takes on Saraya. And Samoa Joe is going to be taking on Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs. That's been announced just for the TNT title. Steel cage match. Jungle Boy against Luchasaurus. Obviously announced tonight. Death Triangle against the Elites. Coming up next, we will hear from John Moxley and MJF. So, John Moxley, MJF are going to cut a promo to close the show. MJF segment. Sure to be a banger. Sure to be compelling. The only match that's got any storyline is Jungle Boy against Luchasaurus, says Jilly. Avi said this show has been boring. Will there be another media scrum after? I'm sure there will, but I don't think it's going to be as captivating as the last one. Dominic said, I would like to see Logan Paul versus John Cena and Stone Cold versus LA Knight at WrestleMania if LA Knight doesn't join Bray. Hawkins Jr. said, I just read that AJ Styles has not won a singles match on pay-per-view in 3 years. His last win was at 2019 versus Umberto. What a strange fact. That is a strange fact. He has been trapped, though, in that tag team with Amos for quite a while. But that is still a strange fact. Rick said, you said it right. Boom! Get in. Undercover Manager said, why do we even expect storylines with AEW anymore? Just give up hope of that. Legend Killer said, I am watching Dynamite. Undercover Manager said it's still time for Tony to add 5 more matches. Yeah, I think there's only 20 matches on the card. It's way too late. I don't know how many matches there are, to be honest. Don't know how many matches there are, but you are right. Still plenty of time for Tony Khan to add some more. Please, sir, can I have some more? Please, sir. Right. We are at commercial break, but when we get back, we are going to be going over to the show, the main event, which is a promo, which is a little strange, but I'm not down on it because it's MJF. And it is the main event of Full Gear, so it makes sense. And MJF segments are normally captivating, unmissable. So looking forward to seeing what MJF has got to say. AJ Styles doesn't want to win anymore. He's happy about the $3 million a year he's making, said Junior. I skip a few matches per pay-per-view. It does have to help with overall company morale to have so many spots on AEW's pay-per-view card, says NH. I feel like a lot of the matches were just thrown, so it fills up the show. 5 or 6 matches would have been good. There's too many matches already. How many matches are there? It'll be on Wikipedia, won't it? It'll be on Wikipedia. How many matches are there? I mean, I think when you go into an AEW pay-per-view, you know it's gonna be long. 11 matches so far. 11 matches. I think there will be at least another couple get added to that. If that stays at 11 matches, I actually think that'll be all right. But I could see it sneak into 14. Let's see what comes out of Rampage. Gian! What is the mindset of Jonathan Moxley? What is his mind? I'd imagine his mindset is, I don't give a flip about MJF because what the flip is he going to do? I've been in there with people that have pushed me to my limit, made me bleed almost every ounce of blood I've got in my body. Like, MJF ain't going to do that. Days, keep up the great work. In the words of Cena, never give up. Have a great night and week. iStallion13, very, very kind. Shout out to you, my friends. Yeah, we got, this is very much the calm before the storm. The storm is coming. And it looks like a World Cup. So, yeah, we've got that starting on Sunday. But don't forget, all the usual streams will be on the channel as well. So don't you worry, my friends. We are not sacrificing any Raws or Dynamites or NXTs or SmackDowns. They will all still be happening. What's your excitement level for Full Gear? I said about 7. About 7. Full Gear is a pay-per-view that is duct taped and glued together. Tony Khan has lost his mojo, says Jilly. Okay, so we've got Moxley in the ring. Moxley. I hope MJF wins, said Lone Star Friend. Okay, so Moxley's there. We don't have MJF yet. Thank you, Justin Roberts. My name is John Moxley, and I am the AEW World Champion. Hello, John. Guys, this is John Moxley. He's the AEW World Champion. Hi, John. Thanks for coming. Who is John Moxley? Okay. He's the best professional wrestler. He's the best professional wrestler on planet Earth. He's traveled the world seeking the toughest challenges. And I've defined the AEW World Championship. The announcers say John Moxley loves to fight like it's a good thing. But I'm sick in the head, says John. I am literally sick in the head. I should imagine Renee's backstage going, he is, he is. Do you think he told her all of this when they went on dates? Do you know what I mean? I feel sorry for Renee because she's married to him now. You know what I mean? Her husband's in the ring going, I am sick in the head. I am sick in the head. It's not, things aren't correct up here, I feel like he probably didn't tell her that when they first met. Who is MJF? Got Regal. I scout my opponents. Okay, he's found out. Who is MJF? Found out a few things. Here we go. Yeah. MJF's a really good singer. He's a very good singer. He's got one. He's got one win in the last 6 months. He took a summer vacation after some embarrassing Brian Pillman stuff. Talks about the worst ending to a ladder match he's ever seen. Now he's got a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Even John Moxley having a little pop at Tony Khan's booking. That was the worst ending to a ladder match I've ever seen. Bet Tony's in tears backstage, right? What did he say? I see a man dripping with insecurity. He talks about pre-prepared speeches, hand-picked opponents. Someone's struggling to live up to the hype. You'll see the world champion do what he does best. I'm challenging you, MJF, to show me something. Show me something, MJF. He's a rambling man, said Justin. That ending sucked. Says bot in Del. Oh, Lee Moriarty just jumped in. Oh, hello. Is the firm. Oh, Regal. Regal is being pushed back to the corner. Regal was trying to help out, but he's being held back by the Gun Club. So the firm have come down. The firm are attacking Moxley. What the flip was that kick? What was that kick? Here's MJF. ding, 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 ding. He's laying out the firm here. He's beating up on the firm. So the firm coming down, attacking Moxley. MJF jumps into the ring. Low blow there by MJF. MJF dealing with the whole firm on his own. MJF just beat up the firm on his own. Get out of Connecticut before I take my boot off and shove it up your ass. Right. Let's see what MJF's got to say. I didn't save your ass because I like you. I don't want any of your fan club making excuses for you when I knock you out. William Regal staring at MJF. Regal is going to side with MJF. Smells like a setup, says Leo. Yeah, I mean, he just took them all out on his own. If it's not a setup, then it's not a great look for the firm, is it? You can make me bleed buckets. I need that belt more than I need water, more than I need food. I hate this story in wrestling. It never seems to come off right. Keeping your opponent safe for the match, said Rick. I heard you, John, last week when you said I wasn't the devil. I don't see MJF as a powerhouse wrestler. I see him as a heel, a smart wrestler, a cheat. I mean, I'm guessing that he is working with the firm. My name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Moxley takes the microphone off of him. I never saw what the big deal is with you. But this weekend, we're going to find out. If you've got it in you, I will reach in and pull it out of you because that's my job, says Moxley. At Full Gear, the training wheels come off. Moxley went to walk away. He decided to come back, say a few words. Regal stands in between them. Who will leave? Please let this match be good, said Rick. This Sunday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I think Saturday, isn't it? Days the Iron Challenge match. What if both superstars get DQ'd in the opening 5 minutes? They're both in the penalty box. Then we would have a problem for the ref in the ring. Not really. They would just have to go in the penalty box and they'd be fighting in the penalty box for 90 minutes, wouldn't they? The falls in the penalty box wouldn't count, but I would imagine that's just what they would do. they would put both in the penalty box and they'd both just would watch them fight in there. Because there's no way they'd both stand in the penalty box just waiting, is there? So I can only imagine that they'd just be brawling inside a penalty box for 90 seconds, which could be pretty fun to watch. But if they're both DQ'd and they're both in the penalty box, then, well, they both have to go into there for 90 seconds. The show was about 2 at best, said Paul. Get in your scores. Do you know what? Let's do a poll, shall we? Let's do a poll. It was a go home. I'm going to change the parameters, I think, and we'll see. What do you score the show? I'll go, normally I do 8 to 10, but I'll go 7 to 10 this time. 6 to 6, 7, 5. 5, 7, 5. No, 5, 2, 5, 7, 5. 4, 7, 5, or below. Below. Get in your thoughts. What do you think of it? Regal is ready to pull a Heyman when he turned his back on Brock for Roman, says Wrestle with Andy. Ava said it was a boring show. Ian said, honestly, I'm going to give it a 5. Joel said it's a messy main event segment. Me with a 5. Jilly with a 3. Jamie with a 5. Jonathan with a 1010. Joel with a 6.5. Alex with a 4. Ava with a 1.5. J-Boy said Mox needs time off. Bunker said brass nuts at the ready. Brass nuts? Oh, what, to prevent low blows? I thought you just misspelt brass knucks, but I think you probably did mean brass nuts. Fair play. Mitchell said, I'm going to say 675. I enjoyed Death Triangle, but the ending segment was messy. Who have you put in your FIFA fantasy team? I don't actually have it to hand. Hang on. Fantasy World Cup. Keep getting your scores in. We'll have a look at the poll in a second. My team. I've got Pickfords, Dumfries, Trippier, Pavards, Sosa, Klassen. I've got De Bruyne. I've got Olsen, Messi, Kane, Lozano. On my bench, I've got Cancelo. I have got Musiala, and I have got Arrascaeta. Some of them are just cheap. I'm not going to lie. Some of them I just did not have much money. But I was really pleased I found a way of getting De Bruyne, Kane, and Messi into the team. So I've got those 3. And I was really pleased I found a way of getting Musiala in there as well. So I felt pretty good about it. I don't have any Brazilians in my team, though. That's the only problem. I don't have any Brazilians. So I'm a little bit gutted about that. But yeah, we can look into that a bit more as soon as we get to our World Cup streams. But yeah, make sure if you do want to join, the link is at the top. We've had over 100 votes. Over 100 votes. Tony needs to do something to get some momentum back. Well, to be honest, I think we will get momentum back following Full Gear. I mean, we could come out with MJF as the brand new champ, and I think there's a real chance of that because we know that Moxley was meant to go away on a break, and that break got cancelled. So I've got to think that he'll drop the title to MJF, and he'll then go on his deserved break. So I think MJF will be champ, so that'll be big. Elite will be back. Whatever happens, they're back. That'll be big. And so, I think there'll be some momentum that comes out of Full Gear. You never know if there's any other surprises as well. The fact they've announced the Elite makes me wonder if they have another surprise in store. Surprises are so important in wrestling. And even though there's no mystery opponents, there's no like Joker or anything like that, it does make me wonder if they'll have something. I don't know who. I really don't know who. Who could you go and get? There may not be anyone, but surprises are quite important, and AEW have used them a lot So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a surprise, but I can't think as to who it would be. So, yeah, I think there'll be some momentum that comes out of Full Gear. And, the build's been all right. It's been all right. There's been some, talking points. We've got the Elite coming back. MJF came back. He's been building towards his match with Moxley. So that's been all right. Acclaimed are over. They're pretty hot, so that's all right. We're going to get the final payoff of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Saraya came in, that was big. And she's taking on Britt Baker in a match. So, I mean, you can't be too down on that. So, yeah, I think the card looks pretty good, actually. I think the card looks pretty good. I'm definitely on board with the show. I'm excited to see what they do. And, yeah, we've got that on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we've got the World Cup beginning. So it's a very exciting weekend. Did you hear Adesanya was arrested? Yeah, I got mentioned earlier. Yeah, silly boy. Right, let's end this poll. We've had 120 votes. That'll do. That'll do. Oh, quite close. Look at that. 30% went 7 to 10, but 28% went 5 to 575. 20% were 475 or below, and 20% were 6 to 675. So 5 to 575 got nearly as much as the 7 to 10 bracket. So that's interesting. Go home show. Felt like a go home show, but it's done. And we move on, and we move on to SmackDown on Friday, and we move on to Full Gear on Saturday. So with that being said, we are going to run away. I've got 20 odd streams to set up, and then I need to start doing research for the World Cup. I need to set up Tyson Fury against Chisora as well, because we are going to be doing that fight. So we are doing Tyson Fury against Chisora. That's on, I think, the 3rd of December. I have to set that up because I don't know when I'll get a chance to set that up as well. So I need to run off and start setting up streams, doing research, all that kind of stuff. So a big thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show and got out of it what you could. And as we said, we will be back on Friday for SmackDown, Saturday for Full Gear, Sunday for the World Cup. So awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to enter your fantasy teams at the link at the top of the chat. Or you can just, as long as you make your teams, it doesn't even matter if you join the league. You can join our league at any time. What you can't do is create a team once the World Cup has started. I suppose you could, but you would be behind everyone in points. So you need to do it now, all right? Awesome. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a great evening. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.